Mic check. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friendly Friday, everybody. It's good to be back after yesterday. Thank you guys for putting up with me. It's a beautiful Friday here in Phoenix, Arizona. A cool 350 fucking degrees outside. It's gonna be a good day. Hey, how are you guys doing? How's everybody here doing? Everything's normal? Everything's friendly? TikTok's working now? Yeah, for now. They'll throttle our traffic here in a minute. And eventually, I think we made it through the whole day yesterday, right? Didn't we get through the whole day? Look, we ended yesterday. We ended early yesterday, and I think we can all just agree that was Jen's fault. And Jen's back today, which reminds me I need to jump in the VC. Boom. But I think that's what we all decided before we ended yesterday, is that this was Jen's fault, right? Protest. Let's see. What did that say? Please be careful protesting in Maricopa. Did you see the sheriff's message? I did not. Let's look that up. This is it's a difficult decision, I think, for people who are protesting. I was talking to somebody yesterday that's planning on going to the protests in downtown Phoenix, and that the GOP, Trump and his goons, they want you guys to not protest. They want all of us to not protest. They want to shut this down. So they're going to threaten you. The problem is, I don't think anybody knows if they're threats or not threats. They don't know if they're real threats or if they'll act on those threats. Let me look and see if I can find the Maricopa County Sheriff. I didn't see what he said. I do have the Florida one. I'll pull that up in a minute. I don't know. I don't see it here. Oh, was it Grady, Sheriff Grady Judd? No, that's the guy in that's at Polk County in Florida. If somebody has it, send it to Jen, would you? And I'll play it later. I do need to do a couple of things before we get going. First thing I need to do is I don't need to do this, I guess, but I'm going to do this. I want to explain why I ended early yesterday. Towards the end of the live, if you were here, that's when the footage came out of Senator Padilla being arrested. Cue the Republicans in the chat freaking out that I said the word arrested. I don't even get this. I don't even get this argument. Somebody, I don't remember who it was. Somebody commented on our YouTube video that Padilla wasn't arrested. I just want to say, and I've heard this from even Padilla said this. He said he wasn't arrested and he wasn't detained. All I'm saying is, if you're using the word correctly, I guess I don't know if there's a different legal term, if it's something different, but to seize somebody by legal authority and take them into custody. I don't know why what happened there wasn't an arrest. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. I have no idea why, taking somebody, removing them, cuffing them, and then removing them from where you cuffed them, you have been detained and you've been arrested at that point. But that happened, and I got to tell you, two things have come to mind during that time. Number one, I think I made the right decision by shutting the live down early. That's first. And second, I gained a lot of respect for people who cover the news and cover breaking news, and it's their job to sit there and continue to cover breaking news. I legitimately didn't know what to say yesterday. There were a lot. There were a lot of emotions. I'm an emotional person. Anybody who's followed me, I do wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I had a lot of feelings about that. But mostly, I didn't know what to say. I had no idea what to do or say in that moment. It was such a brazen, not brazen, like a shocking moment. And then to see the chat, oh yeah, get him. I was just so I was confused. And I spent most of the day just thinking about like why I had that emotion. And I think it can mostly be boiled down to this, is that most of the people in my life are MAGA adjacent, Republican at the very least. And when I see the type of stuff that like regular people say on this chat, and the way that they celebrate the authoritarian way that this government is going about their business, I think I just like it makes me sad. And it makes me feel like that the people that I care about are unwilling to call balls and strikes. They're unwilling to admit that maybe, maybe the people that they voted for aren't great. And I think that that's mostly because of the good versus evil that has come out of the GOP. And I think that might work both ways. But when I think about the people at the top of the GOP, and when I say at the top of the GOP, I'm talking about the people whose voices are the most amplified. Those people are cruel. And those people are hyperbolic. And those people consistently call, our side of the aisle Marxist, communist, like that we're trying to destroy America. And none of those things are true. And I think that's the hard part. I will point to what Trump is doing, and I will say that's fascism. And I'll criticize them, and I'll say that this is fascist and that it's extrajudicial and it's extra constitutional, but it's accurate. And we live now like in a country where it's really about like tit for tat. Oh, well, you called us names, so we'll call you names. And there's not a lot of people going, are any of these names true? When you get called a fascist, is it true? We had that caller the other day that, remember, we went down like all the tenets of fascism, and he agreed. He agreed that everything this administration does fits the tenets of fascism, all 7 of them. But then when it came time to say, okay, is this fascism? No, you guys are just calling names. And I think that like, when I say we're going to get slow walked into fascism, that's really what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of people that I care about who I legitimately do think they try and make the best decision and they try and support the best policies. People are undereducated or underinformed. And how could you be informed if you're a Republican? How could you? Do you know how much time it takes to follow the amount of batshit crazy stuff coming out of this administration? Donald Trump is on pace to sign 2,500 executive orders. The previous record was like, I want to say it was like 300. He's on pace for 2,500. How could anybody on your side of the aisle be up to date? I cover this for a living. I could probably tell you 1/20th of the executive actions that he has taken. Yeah, we've been slow walked for 40 years. Look, Tic Tac, I kind of agree with that. I think maybe I would put it differently. I would say we were conditioned to be divided for 40 years. And now we have somebody in office who is a strongman, a wannabe strongman, which is always a weak man. The people that talk like Donald Trump in real life, you all know them. They're bitches. They're all weak people. They're sad people. They're miserable people. But more than anything, they are weak people. And when a lot of you are going to go out and you're going to protest this weekend, and you're going to go to the No Kings rally, and there's going to be some shit that pops off at some of them. But I hope you guys remember that, like, you actually are the strong people. It would be very easy for most of us, especially those with this complexion. It would be very easy for most of us to just kind of switch sides, ride it out, right? If we wanted to do what was easy, we would switch sides and we'd be like, yeah, let's just get rid of everybody. And if I get on this side, maybe they won't come after me. So I applaud all of you that are going out there and protesting. I applaud all of you that like cried yesterday. I applaud all of you that felt anxiety yesterday. I applaud all of you who felt defeated yesterday. I applaud all of you who woke up sick today. And I applaud every one of you that just like got the fuck out of bed and said, I'm going to go, like however it is that you are going to keep fighting and keep going. I applaud all of that. Because at the end of the day, like this idea that strength is, masked men deporting immigrants, or Donald Trump acting tough behind a microphone, or Pete Hegseth refusing to answer questions, or MAGA consistently attacking marginalized community, that is weakness. Like it truly does show strength to watch the same people get absolutely decimated because they feel things. Because like justice matters to them. Injustice is painful for them. And it's beautiful to see those same people every day come back and every day go and fight. And so I just want to say to you guys that it means the world to me that like every day you show up. Because it's not TikTok. How the fuck is TikTok already taking us down? Because it's not easy. It's not fun. It's exhausting. It's draining. You can say go touch grass, but like this is one of those moments where it kind of feels like I don't know if I have time to touch grass. You know what I mean? Like I had to convince myself to get out of the house yesterday just to say like you need this. You've got to get away for a minute. You got to like calm your nervous system. So I just want to say to all of you, keep going. Keep fighting the injustice. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck in the petty shit. Don't get stuck in the bullshit. Don't let it consume your life, but keep going, and just know that I think there's a lot more of us than there are of them, because what we do know about this type of rhetoric historically is that these people are cowards and they will back down. We're already starting to see it. Trump, who I've been worried this whole time would never back down. Like now, yesterday, he's like, you know what? Maybe we stop targeting farmers. Maybe we stop targeting workers. Maybe we should go after the criminals. He claims that there's a new executive order that's coming out. I haven't seen it yet today. He says something's going to come out today, but it is working. And so I just want to tell all you guys, you're doing incredible things, and keep battling. One other thing I need to cover, and I should have written this down. Somebody in the Discord got this for me. Yesterday, when I showed the clip of Chris Cuomo, it was a long segment. This is a little embarrassing. It was a long segment about Chris Cuomo. I incorrectly stated that News Nation was funded by Qatar. News Nation is not funded by Qatar. That's Newsmax. And I went back and I looked at like my research, and I just in the prompt I put in Newsmax. I didn't put in News Nation. And I didn't even catch it. And then I went through the whole thing. I read it all. I was like, fuck News Nation. And I did a whole segment about how News Nation was funded by Qatar. And none of that is true. So whoever that was in the Discord, if you're in the Discord listening to this now, sorry, I forgot to write who it was down. But thank you for that. And I appreciate this audience for consistently holding me accountable. And thank you. Let's get into it. Jen, good morning. Do you have anything to say after your absence yesterday? Maybe. No, Jen, that's not the one. I do have that one. Somebody said Maricopa County sheriff said something. This is from Florida. That's Brevard County. All right, well, maybe Jen's not here yet. Jen, whenever you're ready. We'll just we'll show this now. This is Florida Sheriff Wayne Ivey. Is he Brevard? I think so. This is weakness. And this is like nothing gets the MAGA dick hard like threatening violence. And I want to just say that this is the sheriff. He's planning for protests. I do think it's important to let people know that they are allowed to defend themselves. I don't have a problem with that. But it's this type of rhetoric and this type of like bloviating masculinity or machismo that is exactly what we don't need in police departments.
So I'm gonna break it down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that.
My problem with that is I've seen enough of these protests to know that police are regularly giving unlawful orders and calling them lawful. We are going to see a lot of people arrested for defying unlawful orders. These protests this week are going to lead to a lot of lawsuits.
If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired, because we are going to run you down and put you in.
Are you, though? Are you, bud? You're going to run somebody down? I'm looking behind you. I don't see a lot of running down capability on this stage here. This guy's like 70. I don't know. This guy's definitely not running anybody down. This guy's in his 50s. I don't think that's a police officer. Big ass cross there. Are you? Are you going to run some people down? I don't know about that.
In jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail.
They're so tough, guys. They're so tough.
If you spit at us, we're going to put you in the hospital.
Shut up, bitch. These are the type of police officers we don't need. What are you do? Why are you escalating before? Nobody fucking cares. Nobody's listening to this and going,
Well, I was going to spit on the police officers, but now I'm not.
dude, this is you just like flexing. This is you just dick measuring, and that sheriff's not going to be out there. He's not going to be out there in the riot gear. He's going to be at home. He's watching it on his TV. This type of tough talk is so stupid. It's so embarrassing. It's just like, to me, this is cosplaying. And I've said it once and I'll say it again. Like if I get a pool noodle and go to the park and LARP with my friends and dress up in costumes, how's that any different than being a Republican? It's not. It's all a LARP. It's always a LARP. They're always playing a game. These guys are playing cops and robbers, and they're in their 60s. Why would you even say that? Why would you start threatening people before any of these protests? Also, the Florida anti-riot. Now, I got in trouble yesterday for saying riot, so we're not going to start that fucking shit again. But we're just like, it's just inflame, 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 inflame. These people don't want peace. They're begging to be able to use their guns and their weapons and their handcuffs. This isn't who we need. This is why people say fuck the police. This is why people say ACAB. This is why people say defund the police. They want this. They want to fight. It's not de-escalation. You've seen the clips in LA. You see the guy getting whacked with a stick as he's like walking forward, and a police officer on a horse just whacking him with a stick. This is disqualifying. If I lived in, I think this is Brevard County, I would say this is disqualifying.
If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at.
If you throw a brick, you're dead. Okay. Dude, shut the fuck up, man. Like, what a bitch. What an absolute bitch.
I'm going to call a press conference, and I'm going to look tough I'm going to give a bunch of hypothetical scenarios where I look tough. I'm so cool.
Because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop.
It hasn't started, you stupid bitch. It hasn't started. It's on fucking Saturday. This shit has to stop now. It hasn't started, idiot. It hasn't fucking started. He's already upset. This is the GOP. They just wake up every morning wanting to be mad, wanting to do violence. That's the modern day GOP. You have worked yourself into a fucking hissy fit here over something that hasn't happened yet. You have created a bunch of scenarios in your mind, and now you're getting elevated and excited about a hypothetical. This shit has to stop. Well, turn it off, bud. It's all happening inside your head. If you want it to stop, put on your CPAP mask and go to sleep. Go night-night. Take a melatonin. Smoke some weed. I don't know. That shit's all happening in your head. What the fuck are you angry about?
Watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs.
Ooh. I don't know about that. ICE was made to round up terrorists. Are they rounding up terrorists? I went back and I watched like some of the congressional hearings when they formed ICE, and these were the type of things that people brought up all the time. In the objection to forming ICE was, how do we make sure that this stops with like tracking down terrorists? How do we make sure? How do we make sure that this doesn't wind up like a massive government overreach? And they're like, oh, we would never do that. And here we are 20 years later. And they're like, you know what? We're not doing terrorists anymore. We're gonna go to Olive Garden and we're gonna raid the kitchen. That's what we're doing now. That's what's really important. ICE wasn't ever supposed to do any of this. These freedom-loving patriots, goddamn, they love the freedom of speech and the freedom to assemble and the freedom to bear arms and the freedom to fight back against a tyrannical government. And then the government's tyrannical, and then all the Republicans are like, let them tyrannical all over you. Have them tyrannical on your face. Let it drip down your face. It's the best. Maybe a tyrannical cream pie.
And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order.
It's not law and order. It's a massive, massive overreach. And shout out to the courts who told Trump to go fuck himself yesterday, just like we said. Now, I know it's a radical judge, right? It's a radical judge that made that order. All these judges, they just hate Trump. I don't know why they won't let Trump just like do whatever he wants. These fucking radical judges. We won. We won all the swing states. We won the popular vote. Yeah, you did. You sure did. And now you're losing in court because it turns out maybe you're not quite as popular as you thought you were, right? Even Republican judges, your approval rating for the way that you guys are handling this is in the 30s. Pretty good stuff, guys. World's dumbest person. Now, in the midst of all this, in the midst of everything that's going on, Iran has now attacked Israel. We have, obviously, protests. We have rogue ICE agents. We're deporting American citizens. We have this nasty GOP bill that is dog shit. We're not doing anything about health care. We're not doing anything to make American lives better. So naturally, when Nancy Mace has the opportunity to bring Tim Walz to Congress, she asks this question.
1990.
Okay. What is a woman? What is a woman is the question.
I'm not sure I understand the question here.
Yeah. You guys are so, like still obsessed with trans people. She's such a psycho. She reminds me of who's that chick on TikTok? There's the crazy Christy. You guys remember Christy, who just like went batshit crazy and like all she ever does now is go argue about how like trans people shouldn't exist. I think, unfortunately, like Logic and Liberty is falling down that same pipeline there of just anger against trans people. Let it go, guys. Let it fucking go. Can we talk about something else in Congress right now? This isn't hurting anybody. It's just Nancy Mace, who, by the way, like the greatest danger to Nancy Mace is white Christian conservative men. She talks about it all the time. She talks about how she was abused. She talks about how her ex-fiance was secretly recording her and sharing those videos with everybody. That's the fear. That's who she should be afraid of. But instead, she's going to focus on trans people.
I understand the question here.
Well, that.
What
okay.
what do you want me to say? This is.
I want you to say that a woman like me is an adult human female, that men can't become women. You guys are the party of violence, and you're the party erasing women. You don't respect us. You're a bigot. You're a misogynist. You're a sexist. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
What do you want me to say? I want to freak out. I wanted you to say, I don't know, and I had this pre-planned answer, and you're not letting me do it. I have Jen muted. How do I unmute you, Jen? I don't know how to unmute you, Jen. I see that it shows muted, but like it doesn't. When I click on it, Jen, it doesn't show muted. Jen, maybe hop out and back in. I don't know. She just wanted to yell. She just wanted to have a moment, and he fucked up her moment. She wanted so badly for him to answer that question, however she was planning, so that she could scream at him and tell him he was a bigot and he didn't care about women. And he was just like, what? What are you talking about? She's like, I'm going to freak out anyways. And then we had the freak out.
Congresswoman,
Good lady,
thank-
Mr.
back.
Chairman, I would
Recognizes
ask
Ms.
unanimous
Ocasio-Cortez from New York.
All right, well, that was some kind of bingo going on over there. I don't know what's going on. Anyways.
Oh, I know what's going on. Thank you.
Nobody asked if you knew what was going on. You psycho. Shut the fuck up. Be quiet. She's so crazy. She doesn't even. She's just worked herself up, just like that last sheriff. This is what happens when you don't have any sort of like goal. You don't have anything you're trying to accomplish. The Republicans are doing nothing. They're just letting Donald Trump do whatever he wants. They have nothing to talk about. They have no bills to pass. They're not trying to accomplish anything. So when you wake up and you try and find purpose, you just get mad. And that's what being a Republican is at this point. And I think it's important to consistently point that out. You guys you stand for absolutely nothing. You just stand for anger. You're just angry. And we're gonna keep pointing that out time and time again. Let me see if I can figure out what's going on with Jen in the VC. I don't know. This is so crazy. It doesn't show that you're muted, Jen. Like I'd see if I mute and unmute. Oh, I just muted. I see you now. Do you guys hear Jen? Huh. This has happened before, Jen. I'll just hop out of Discord and back in. We'll see if that fixes it. This happens sometimes when I take Discord calls. All right, now try, Jen. Nope. Let me change the settings. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Oh, there we go. All right, now try, Jen.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it was just my output was set to a different device.
Shocking. That's what I was trying to say to you in our DMs, and you didn't listen to me.
All right. Well, I didn't read them. I didn't know you said any. What did you say? Check the audio for screen. It wasn't for screen capture. You would have been wrong on that. It was the audio in Discord. So take that. Hi, Jen. Welcome back.
Whatever.
You fucked everything up yesterday. Everybody's mad at you.
Do we really want to go? Do we want to make people feel more bad? We don't want to do that.
Good morning.
We don't, right?
How was Spawn's graduation or whatever that was yesterday?
That wasn't yesterday.
That wasn't yesterday?
No. Did you? Oh my
I
God.
can't remember what
I'm
yesterday
gonna
was.
put in our chat why I wasn't here yesterday. And you're gonna feel so bad. Hold on.
Oh shit! I remember. No, don't say it. Never mind. Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
fuck.
to say, you dickhole. Fucking A.
I'm sorry.
God, you're such an idiot. God, you're dumb.
Sorry. Happy Friday, Jen. It's good,
God, you're
good to have you back.
God, you're awful.
Sorry.
Anyways, I hope you feel bad.
I do.
hope
I
you
feel awful right now. Yeah,
Good.
your reaction is totally warranted. Yeah.
Right. Anyways, so yeah, let me just do announcements before,
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I'll
I
be
mean,
quiet.
we don't need you to make your bed anymore because yesterday wasn't my fault. I had a legit reason why I wasn't here, and Jay's just an asshole. So, anyways, top left-hand corner is our gift goal. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats all go towards knocking out that gift goal. Hey, if you want to send more just to help me deal with his bullshittery, that would be fantastic.
Oh, also, wait, while you're doing that, because I forgot at the beginning, I want to thank everybody. After the show ended, a lot of people sent in and knocked out the gift goal. I saw that. I don't remember who said it in the Discord to do that, and we really appreciate that. That was, you didn't need to do that, and we appreciate it.
Yes.
How about it?
All right. If you guys haven't already subscribed to us, please do so. You can do it on all platforms, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. On Twitch, you can use an Amazon Prime sub. On YouTube, you can do a free sub, or if you want to help us support, so we have 4 different memberships. If you guys disagree with RTP, which I see that there's quite a few, Callie Cam, I see you crying a lot in the comments. You guys can come on and talk in real time. And how you do that is you look at that Venmo. That is my Discord username. You can DM me on Discord and I can bring you on and talk in real time. So Jen, JENN, WBB, the number 1. Add me on Discord and I can bring you on. Check out our link tree. We're on most social media platforms. We we upload these shows to Spotify. So if you miss and you like to listen or watch on Spotify, that's how you can do that. We've got merch and Cameo. Yeah, all that. Let's see. Did you hear about the guy who got hit in the head with a can of soda?
I didn't.
Let's just say he was lucky it was a soft drink.
Joseph wants to know, Jen, how'd the ultrasound go yesterday? And I don't think that's funny at all.
No, I mean, you and I have talked about how stuff like that goes. I mean,
it's not funny. Oh yeah, there would be an immediate appointment right after that ultrasound. We know that.
100%. I'm so pro-choice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right.
Thanks, Jen. Chuck said Trump announces freezes on ICE enforcement for agriculture and hospitality. This was always about the money, and they never did actually care. I don't know what the fuck it was about, honestly. I think maybe, but I think what's most likely is that there were a lot of people pressuring Trump to knock this shit off. I think that's mostly what it is. I think there's a lot of Republicans, farmers specifically, who rely on both legal and illegal migrant labor. And Trump pushing these ICE raids, not only does it obviously take people away who are here illegally, who are working, but people who want to work here, who can work here legally, they're afraid to come because people were just getting caught up in ICE raids and nobody wants to deal with that. And I think that Trump is probably getting a ton of pushback behind the scenes, of course, because publicly they would never talk to him. They would never talk about him. But I think behind the scenes, he's getting pressured a lot. So that would be my guess. Who knows? We'll never know the truth. They won't tell us. Here's let's go to this. Yeah, the Padilla stuff. Where did it all go? Oh shit, this is the wrong one. Here is we'll get to Padilla in a minute. Actually, I want to show you guys this. This is a story. This is just a clip from a CNN article. This is Jason Leopold. He's a journalist who regularly gets information through FOIA requests. He sent in a FOIA request March 18th, and it had gone unanswered. And he was writing saying like, "Hey, where's my answer on this FOIA request?" Finally, they get back to him and said, "This letter is in response to your correspondence to the United States Institute of Peace regarding a request under the Freedom of Information Act. We understand that your request was submitted March 18th, 2025. As you may know, at the time of your request, USIP was operating under the control of Mr. Kenneth Jackson and Mr. Nate Kavanaugh of the United States Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE." And they are naming these two guys by name. This is called being thrown under the bus. Mr. Jackson and Mr. Kavanaugh disabled and restricted access to the Institute's FOIA system, terminated the employees responsible for processing FOIA requests, and restricted the use of Institute financial resources. The United States District Court of District of Columbia declared all actions taken by Mr. Jackson and Mr. Kavanaugh to be null, void, and without legal effect, and affirmed USIP's current leadership on May 19th, 2025. Do you remember Elon Musk standing in front of you and telling you that DOGE was the most transparent body of the government? They weren't allowing FOIA requests. They shut down access to FOIA requests. It's good that the court stepped in. It's good that people on the left sued, but this was the plan all along. is to get rid of all transparency. And that was supposed to be the theme of the show yesterday. That's going to be the theme of the show today. These folks are lying to you, and if you are a Republican, you are just cool being lied to. But they're not telling you the truth. You just trust them. You just think, hey, this is all going to work out because I voted for you. I voted for lower prices. I voted for more money in my pocket. I voted for no new wars. Goddamn, how's that going? Here was Trump yesterday as Israel is bombing Iran. As things are escalating in Russia. Listen to Trump talk about Vladimir Putin. He's insane. This guy's lost his fucking mind. He doesn't seem to know what year it is. He doesn't seem to know what years anything is. In fact, earlier he was talking about World War I and wondering why the Russians aren't our friends anymore. And then this.
And I called France and Macron, who's a good man. I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "We're celebrating World War II, our victory." I said, "Your victory? Your victory? Tell me about that." And then I called.
Yeah, France was involved. Do we not remember that? France was part. They were with us. They were with the Russians. They were fighting too. In fact, they were fighting to keep their sovereignty. They were fighting to make sure that they didn't lose their country.
Called somebody else, and I happened to speak to President Putin at the time. Now, in all fairness to him, he lost 51 million people, and he did fight. Right?
What? I don't know how old Putin is, but I know he didn't fight in World War II. I know he didn't lose 51 million people. I don't know how long ago Trump thinks World War II was.
Russia fought. Sort of interesting, isn't it? He fought with us in World War II, and everybody hates him. And Germany and Japan, they're fine. You know, someday somebody will explain that, but I like.
Yeah, you big stupid bitch. It was called the Cold War. So what happened after World War II is then we had a Cold War with Russia, and we both tried to get to the moon. We both developed nuclear weapons. It was called a Cold War, and the other countries that were there that you're talking about, Germany and Japan, we didn't have a Cold War with them. That's why. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Nobody told him that? Nobody explained to Donald Trump why we stopped liking Russia after World War II? Putin was born in 52. Okay, just a few years late to fight in World War II. This guy's an idiot. He's just functionally an idiot.
Fine, you know, someday somebody will explain that, but I like Germany and Japan too. But Putin is a little confused by that, you know. He said, we lost 51 million people and we were your ally, and now everybody hates Russia and they love Germany and Japan. I said, let's explain that sometime, okay?
Okay. Everybody knows why, except for apparently the president of the United States. I also don't think that happened with Putin. I don't think Putin is saying any of that. I don't think he's confused by any of that. That's our president, though. Fucking brilliant. Look at that. Look at that guy. Trump needs to take World History 101. He needs to take a nap. That's what he needs to take. What is this soy goy yapping about? Good spelling there. By the way, with Israel attacking Iran, I at first I was like, this is Israel being like the terrorist state that they are. You know, I thought, I don't like Benjamin Netanyahu, and this just is more Netanyahu being a warmonger. But then after I read this truth from Donald Trump, I've now changed my mind, and it's Iran's fault. Because look what Trump did. He said, I gave Iran a chance to make a deal. I told them in the strongest words to just do it. He told them to just do it. But no matter how hard they tried, no matter how close they got, they just couldn't get it done. What's he talking about? I told them it would be much worse than anything they know, anticipated, or were told that the United States makes the best and most lethal military equipment anywhere in the world, by far, and that Israel has a lot of it, with much more to come, and they know how to use it. Certain Iranian hardliners spoke bravely, but they didn't know what was about to happen. They are all dead now, and it will only get worse. I don't know who he's talking about that's dead, by the way. Do we know who he's talking about? But how did just do it not work? How did the master negotiator saying just do it not work? This guy sucks at negotiating. I'll end all the wars. Well, we'll just have new ones instead. He's escalated every war. Every war since Trump got in office has gotten significantly worse. And I had to hear from you guys every day. Joe Biden's causing wars. We want no new wars. We're voting for no new wars every fucking day. That was you know how now you guys are like, we won. We won all the swing states. You lost. We have a mandate. Before the election, it was no new wars. That's all you guys, because you guys just talking points. Where's that? Didn't you vote for no new wars? Didn't you vote for de-escalation? Didn't you vote for ending wars? They've all gotten worse, and now we got new ones too. Isn't this what you guys said? Joe Biden could have stopped those wars. Trump will stop it on day one. It's just all got worse. And then you're just like, well, we'll abandon that talking point. We'll figure out something else to talk about instead. Promises made, promises kept, says Donald. Fucking popping off in the Middle East. Who's dead? Who's dead, by the way? Did they kill some Iranian leaders? I saw the first person killed by the Israelis was a child, so that's pretty fucking on brand for the bloodlust Israelis. It's pretty fucking on brand, right? There's already been great death. I don't care about the rest of that. Actually, can't believe that his negotiations didn't work and keep us safe. Also, Trump lost again. He lost this time in the courts. He lost to Gavin Newsom again because Trump is just like a historic loser. He'll tell you that he won and you guys will go with it. Here's a part of the clip I didn't catch before. We played this clip where Gavin Newsom calls Trump a stone cold liar, but I hadn't played it all the way through. I want you to hear the rest of this clip.
He came out and said that when you guys spoke, he warned you that if you didn't get things under control, he was going to bring in troops.
Stone cold liar. Stone cold liar. He made that up, like he makes up so many other things. He never said that.
And he also seemed to make up this idea that the National Guard did a great job last night when they weren't here.
They weren't even deployed, and he claimed victory. He's lost it.
Yeah, he's absolutely lost his mind. He just says things that aren't even remotely true. He says them with confidence, and then you guys will get mad at Newsom because you're just absolute sheep. It's crazy. He's lost his fucking mind. He claimed victory before deploying them. See, this is the world we have to live in. This is the world we have to coexist with in you, where you guys listen to a guy that does nothing but lie all the time. And when we point it out, it makes you mad.
He hasn't lost a step. And I saw him trip on the steps today. Yeah. I mean, this is serious. He is not the same person that I dealt with just 4 years ago. And he's incapable now.
Hey, Kevin, the phone call he's about to talk about happened on June 7th. The phone call he was asked about, Trump said, I talked to Gavin Newsom yesterday. That was on June 10th. I don't know if you know how numbers work, but it goes 7, 8, 9, 10. So if Trump said it on the 10th, yesterday would be the 9th. The phone call happened on the 7th. See how easy it is to lie to you? Trump lies, gets caught in a lie, gets corrected on the lie, and none of you dumb motherfuckers know it. None of you know that Trump was actually the one that lied. Why? Because Fox News ran with it. Go look at Fox News' graphic. What will it say on the date? It'll say June 7th. Trump said, I talked to Gavin Newsom yesterday on June 10th. Gavin Newsom said, I didn't get a phone call from Trump yesterday. That never happened. He made that up. He did make it up. Or he's so fucking lost that he didn't remember that the call was 3 days prior. And according to Gavin Newsom, none of the stuff he talked about or that he said he talked about actually happened on that phone call. So which one is it? Is Trump a liar, or does he not know the difference between yesterday and 3 days ago? Either way, that's problematic. He's either a liar or he's fucking lost it. But it says a lot about you in the comments that you're coming in here 2 days later after, by the way, every news organization in the world has covered that Trump lied. Everybody has corrected this story. Everybody. It's been everywhere. And somehow the world that you live in has insulated you from finding out that information. If I were you, I would question where I'm getting my information, because it's the 13th of June now. That lie was corrected 3 days ago, and you're in here still saying stupid shit. If I were you, I would just think, why didn't I know that? Why did nobody I pay attention to tell me that? I wonder if they have an agenda to back Trump regardless of what he says.
Of even a train of thought. He's making things up, and he's putting people's lives at risk. And he's got a band of people that are complicit in this. And that's what's so damn alarming.
You guys love talking about Joe Biden. You love pretending that Joe Biden's health was covered up. What's this? What's this? When he lies, your side just, no, he's totally not lying. When he talks about Vladimir Putin fighting in World War II, yeah, no, it's fine. It's not crazy. None of this is crazy. This is all just normal. Let's not talk about it. 3 days ago wasn't the 9th. It's the 13th. 12, 11, 10. 12, 11, 10. 12, 11, 10. 12, 11, 10. I think this is where we're coming to the problem. I think maybe none of you guys, you're probably from red states. They didn't do math with you. Yeah. All right. I also want to show you more liars. RFK, also a psycho, also a liar. This is RFK after he fired the entire CDC panel that approves COVID vaccine, or all vaccines. He went on with Martha McCallum on Fox News, and he had this to say.
Well, you know, this change, Martha, has been a long time coming. In 2002, the Government Oversight Committee held hearings about AIDS that lasted almost a year, and they issued a scathing report about the institutionalized conflicts of interest.
Chuck says this administration is just Bush with a dunce cap. FOD said, no new wars. Our brain cells for MAGA, apparently.
And corruption. One of the examples they gave was that 4 out of the 5 members who voted to recommend the rotavirus vaccine to the schedule had a direct financial interest in that vaccine. One of those individuals voted to add it to the schedule, and then he subsequently sold his vaccine. Okay,
the individual that he's talking about, which he mentioned, but it's hard to understand him sometimes through no fault of his own, is Dr. Paul Offit, O-F-F-I-T. You guys can look up Dr. Paul Offit. This is the story he's telling about Paul Offit now, that he sold his vaccine while he was a member of the panel that approves vaccines.
Owned and developed by a guy called Dr. Paul Offit. Sold his patent on the vaccine for $186 million. So he said he won the lottery because of his vote. That panel found that 97% of the people on the committee had conflicts of interest. This is a committee that we've gone up from.
I'd like to be very clear that if you go through that committee, what they said was conflicts of interest is any sort of like proximity at all to, it could be a family member, it could be a close friend, it could be an organization they worked with that was making any money off of the work that they were doing. This man right here has been suing pharmaceutical companies. He has a bigger conflict of interest than anybody they named on that panel. He stands to make millions of dollars suing pharmaceutical companies. This man has way more conflicts of interest than any of them. If we're going to do conflicts of interest, then maybe we don't bring in the most prominent anti-vaxxer who sells supplements in lieu of vaccines. Maybe we don't bring in somebody this hyper-partisan. And this is this administration to a T. This is MAGA to a T. They tell you that something is hyper-partisan, and then they put in a hyper-partisan. And so that you don't care that it's hyper-partisan because they've already told you somebody else is hyper-partisan. Spoiler alert, he's fucking lying. He's lying about these people's conflicts of interest, and I'll show you in a minute.
11 vaccines in 1986. Today, children get between 69 and 92 vaccines before they're 18. Not one of those vaccines is ever...
It's really high. Those are not all mandatory.
Those are all mandatory. And the reason they're 69 to 92 is some of the brands require 3 doses, some of them require 4. But none of them have been safety tested, except for the COVID vaccine. The only
I remember a couple weeks ago in Congress, he testified before Congress and said that the COVID vaccine was not safety tested. Has he been corrected? Is there potentially a lawsuit coming his way? Why is he all of a sudden saying that the COVID vaccine was safety tested? Uh-oh. Where was that person telling me you get boosted? Where was that person?
You guys,
By the way, it's the dumbest fucking joke that you guys have.
yeah, you guys should get another booster.
Yeah, you should. That's what science says. It's not a good joke. Whoa, you're so tough. You're so tough not getting a vaccine. Oh my God. How tough are you? The data says to get it. You should get it. You just should. That's science. Oh, I'm way tougher than science. Okay.
vaccine on the schedule that has gone through placebo-controlled trials prior to licensure was the COVID vaccine. So nobody has any idea what the risk profiles are on these products.
This is so fucking stupid. He says that they don't go through like safety protocols before the vaccines were released. I don't even know if that's true or not. But that would be like clinical trials. That would be controlled trials to see the side effects of vaccines. We've now studied many of these vaccines for 30 or 40 years. We have way more data on them now than we would have had when they went through the safety protocols. This is stupid. This is like saying you didn't put on your seatbelt and so you could die in a car crash, but you're already home. Like you already took the trip. You had to drive 2 hours. You didn't wear your seatbelt, and then you come home and someone's like, if you don't put your seatbelt on, you could have died in that trip. No, I didn't. We did it. We have the data on it now. I'm alive. We know now. We've seen the side effects of those vaccines. We are very aware of what the side effects are. In fact, if you go get a vaccine, my child, when she gets like her vaccines, they tell you what the potential side effects are. They let you know. They inform you of what potential side effects come with each vaccine. We know all of these answers. This is such a bizarre fucking psycho thing to say. He's like, I want to get rid of them because they weren't safety tested. Okay, but now we know. Here's Dr. Offit, by the way. Now, remember, Paul Offit was accused and released from the COVID vaccine advisory council, or not COVID, the vaccine advisory council, because it was reported that he had a conflict of interest, and while he was on the board, he was selling his own patent, or his own vaccine. Here's Dr. Offit setting the record straight.
Secretary Kennedy addressed me today, June the 12th, during an interview on Fox News with Martha McCallum. During that interview, he named me, so I need to get the facts out. First, he said that the CDC Vaccine Advisory Committee was corrupted by members who had financial ties to the pharmaceutical industry.
Don't feel bad, RTP. Many Trump supporters grew up under the Bush and in red states. Many children were, in fact, left behind. And also, vaccines save millions of lives around the world. Facts.
He used me as an example. He said that I voted to approve a rotavirus vaccine on which I was a co-patent holder. I was a voting member on the CDC Vaccine Advisory Committee between 1998 and 2003. The vaccine on which I was a patent holder didn't come up for a vote until 2006, so I'd been off the committee for at least 3 years. So there was no conflict of interest. Second, Secretary Kennedy said that I made $186 million from selling out my patent. But because our work was done at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, they own the patent. So that is simply not true. I would ask Secretary Kennedy to do his job. Focus on the things that will make America healthy again, rather than by dividing us and vilifying people unnecessarily and without the facts. Americans deserve at least that. Thank you.
Dude, these booster jokes suck. Your booster jokes aren't funny. Like, I'm sure they kill with like your other dumb redneck friends. I'm sure they do. But they're not that fun. They're not fun. Like, I don't know. It's just stupid. It's like flat earthers. I bet you believe the earth is round too. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do believe the earth is round because it is. Oh, I bet you believe in gravity too. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Like, you're arguing the side of like not with no scientific backing. This is just all a gut for you. Oh, I feel that they're bad, and my Facebook says that they're bad, so I'm going to make fun of people. Okay. All right, I do want to show this too. This is Kathy Hochul, Governor Kathy Hochul. Broke Marge's brain. This was my favorite moment of the day. This is me being petty. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene, 13-second clip talking to Kathy Hochul.
Governor Hochul, you stated that you're a proud registered Democrat.
Yes, I did. Is that illegal now too in your country?
Governor Hochul, this is not a laughing matter.
You're the only one laughing, you fucking idiot. Who laughed here? Who laughed?
Governor Hochul, this is not a laughing matter.
You laughed. That was you that laughed. She wasn't laughing. She was making fun of you. Marge tried to set her up with a gotcha there, and she turned it around on her. Marge laughed, then realized it wasn't a laughing matter, scolded herself. I love Marge. Now the rest of the show is just going to be showing the incompetence of this administration. Here is Elizabeth Warren. Cue the Pocahontas stuff. Cue something about 1/1000th. Cue all the normal Republican jokes. Go ahead, guys. Get your Pocahontas jokes out.
And being proud that the United States has these economic rules. I think that's a better way to go. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Donald Trump ran for president on the promise to lower costs, a promise that he abandoned almost as soon as he got elected.
Yeah.
He also promised his, quote, rich as hell donors that he would deliver big tax breaks. So right now, Senate Republicans are working overtime to pass billionaire tax giveaways, partly paid for by kicking 14 million people off their health care, and partly paid for by using magic math to pretend that those tax giveaways don't cost as much as they actually cost. Now, we've seen this play before. In 2017, Trump's first tax giveaway to the wealthy was supposed to cost just $1.5 trillion. And that was after there were a bunch of budget gimmicks to keep the total down. But even that wasn't a big enough giveaway. After the bill passed, the Trump Treasury Department drafted regulations to implement the new law, and corporations sent armies of lobbyists in to write even more loopholes into the tax laws. Now, Mr. Morrissey, you were Deputy General Counsel at Treasury at this time, so you may remember lobbyists from foreign banks like Credit Suisse and Barclays one big new international tax loophole for loans that they make to U.S. subsidiaries. Do you know how much those big banks pocketed from that extra giveaway engineered in the Treasury Department?
Senator, I'm familiar with many of the regulations under TCJA, but not the answer
Not
to
that
your specific.
one?
Not the answer to your
Well, then I will
specific
tell
question.
you, it was $50 billion, according to the Joint Committee on
$50 billion in handouts to banks, foreign banks, $50 billion in handouts from Trump's first tax cuts. Just so we're clear on that. You know, we are tired of funding other countries. Well, we'll give their banks a break, though. Banks, guys, you guys the side of big banks now. Remember, you guys are the ones that hate big banks. You were there on Occupy Wall Street too. That's what the Tea Party was. You guys didn't like the bank bailouts. Every time you write legislation, there's some sort of bailout for banks in it.
On taxation. Now, today, President Trump and congressional Republicans are working to pass a new set of tax cuts for billionaires, millionaires, and giant corporations. This one, the price tag is around $4 trillion. And this time, they are planning to pay for it in part by slashing Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act by nearly $1 trillion and kicking 14 million Americans off their health care. It is handout time for billionaires and austerity for everyone.
So Republicans, I just want to make sure we're clear. So what you are in favor of is handouts to banks, but not health care for people. Just if you're not with Elizabeth Warren, which you wouldn't ever be, right? I mean, she's a communist, right? She lies about her identity. She's a radical Marxist, leftist, communist. How dare she sit out here and talk about people getting health care when there are banks that are in desperate need of government handouts? You guys are the side, like, it's not like you're not the side of handouts. You're doing handouts. You're just only doing handouts to rich people for some reason. I don't know why. We need the banks banks need more money? Fuck the people who need health insurance. Give those banks some more money, please.
Else. Mr. Morrissey, you're nominated to be general counsel at Treasury, meaning you would help.
Why? Watch the talk. Healthcare is not all right. Yet, nobody said that. You guys are like, I don't know if you're bots or not. I don't know the difference because like it's all dumb. But I don't think any of you can hear. And if you can hear, I don't know if you know how to process information. Nobody's saying healthcare is a right. But if your argument right now is healthcare is not a right, are you then saying that like handouts to big banks are a right? Because we're just talking about the difference of who you're giving handouts to. Are you giving handouts to people who want healthcare or handouts to big banks? And healthcare's not a right. Okay, calm down. Just listen. You can learn new things. I know this is a woman. I know she's a lefty. I know she has short hair. This is all very triggering to you, but just listen for a second, and you're going to find out that your party sells you out all the time. And they tell you that they're cutting all these benefits for poor people, and they tell you, that, oh, those people, they don't work. They're just living off the government. And then they take that money, and instead of giving it to people for health care, they give it to big banks, and it benefits you nothing. You get no benefit from that. If people got healthcare, you would see a benefit from that. You would see a healthier population, and you would likely see that your rates could come back down. But no, we don't want to do that. We better give handouts to the banks, right?
The drafting and the implementation of this bill, if it passed, maybe adding another 50.
She just named them. Credit Suisse, Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan. She just named them. Are you not listening? They're all getting handouts. There's loopholes carved into every one of these tax bills so that they don't have to pay taxes. That's the handout.
$1 billion tax loophole here and another $50 billion tax loophole there. So, Mr. Morrissey, I just make sure you think through what this means. Do you know how many people will have to lose their Medicaid coverage just to pay for one of those $50 billion tax loopholes out of a $4 trillion Trump tax giveaway?
Senator, if I were to be confirmed, I would be committed to making sure that folks working at Treasury on tax issues are clear that the policy judgments in these space belong to the Congress.
That's not the question.
Swing and a miss. And this is going to be the theme all day. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's a secret plan. I don't know if they just like think it's fun. But for whatever reason, Republicans have been instructed during this administration that when you go before Congress, no matter what question a Democrat asks you, you don't answer it. And no matter how many times they ask you to answer the question, even if the question is completely innocuous, you do not answer questions. We're not doing transparency in this administration. We are hiding everything from the American people. And we're hiding it because like our base is so obsessed with with everything else, they won't even notice. They'll have no idea that we're just hiding everything from them. We'll keep them all distracted with trans people, and we'll keep them all distracted with being afraid of illegal immigration, and we'll keep them distracted with petty bullshit, and we'll go before Congress, and we will not answer a single fucking question. We won't bring a budget. We won't show you where the money's going. We won't tell you where the money's going. And when you ask us where the money's going, we're going to say, fuck you. And Republicans won't care because they're too distracted by the shiny object over here. That's the game they play. They're just all playing you while they hand out money to their billionaire friends.
I'm asking here, Mr. Morrissey, I know you'd like to duck this one. My question is, when you create a $50 billion tax giveaway, do you know how many Americans lose Medicaid coverage to make up $50 billion? Do you know what those numbers are? These are just numbers.
Senator, again, the policy judgment is with the Congress, and
no,
Treasury
it's not a policy question I'm asking.
0 for 2. Twice now. deliberately not answering the question. This question's easy. Do you know how many people will lose their health care over this $50 billion tax break? Yes. If you don't know, say no. If you know, say the answer. But it's always, this administration will follow the law.
Asking you, if you're going to be over at the Treasury Department and you're talking about being in a position where you can actually create a $50 billion loophole, and I know you can do that because you've done it in the past, I just want to make sure when you're doing the pluses and minuses of doing this, you have some idea how many Americans will lose their Medicaid coverage in order to make up for a $50 billion loophole. Do you have any idea how many people have to lose Medicaid coverage to create $50 billion?
Senator, whatever judgments this Congress
10,
makes in the statute
1,000,
to do
a million?
that,
Do you have any idea what that number is?
Senator, if I'm confirmed, I'm committed to making sure we are implementing.
Do you not have an
We're just never going to answer a question. Never. Just no. No or yes. That's an easy one. No or yes. Never will answer a question. They have no interest in telling you guys the truth. And you are just sitting there getting cucked to death. Like, I love being a cuck. You know what I really hate? I really hate when the government tells me the truth. I really hate when they answer questions. I need my government to never tell me anything.
Any idea about what that number is, or do you just not want to say it?
Senator, my role would be on the legal side, the policy judgments, the weighing
I will
of these
take
important
that as you
issues.
just don't want to have to admit it. It's 700,000 people to make up for a $50 billion loophole. It's like cutting off every single Medicaid recipient in the state of Nevada just to fund another $50 billion loophole like the ones you all managed to do last time around when you gave foreign banks this special loophole. And that's what this bill is all about. Taking from struggling families.
Brad, listen to this part. She's going to explain it to you. I know it's tricky. The problem is you don't understand what's in this tax bill. It's cuts to health care. In order to pay for the loopholes, they cut health care. So money was going to, here we go, Brad. Money was going to come in from taxes. The money was going to come in, and it was going to pay for health care. But then they cut the taxes for these big banks. And in order to pay for that tax cut, they cut health care for poor people. So your party, like it or not, your party didn't choose to cut health care to pay down our deficit or to be more fiscally responsible. They chose to cut health care to give more tax breaks to banks. Did I say that slow enough for you?
Families to give handouts to billionaires and big corporations. In fact, according to independent experts, Trump's big, beautiful bill will take money away from the bottom 40% of families and turn around and shovel nearly $400,000 to everyone who's in the top 1/10%. So let me just ask you one last question. We'll finish this up.
He'll definitely answer this one.
Time when families are struggling with higher costs under President Trump, do you really think that Trump's big, beautiful bill should take away money from working class Americans, Mr. Morrissey?
Senator, I think the tax legislation that this Congress passed in 2017 raised living standards and helps Americans across the spectrum. And if Congress decides to take new action, I'm committed to working at Treasury to make sure we implement that.
You know, I just got to say, tax.
0 for 5. 0 for 5. Never going to answer questions. Get used to seeing that today. Amy said the handouts go to red states. They're the ones who will hurt the most. What do the Republicans do when God King takes his money and leaves office? Yeah, I don't know. They're going to have to find a new person to worship. I don't know. Maybe they'll go back to Jesus. We'll see. Amy also said red states have higher disease, death rates, and shorter lifespan for a reason. Yeah, because they're afraid of science. They're more afraid of science than like actual disease. I think I got all those. Let me check here too. Missa says 86 plus 47 equals. Who knows? The world will never know. Chelsea says, make sure you get your perineum sunning in today. I forgot that's what it was called. We talked about that the other day. We did talk about perineum sunning. For anybody who doesn't know, look it up. Apparently, it's very healthy for you. Here is United States Representative Raja Krishnamurthy. I fucked that up, I'm sure. They are a Democrat from Illinois. And one of the governors that was there, we've shown Tim Walz already. We had Kathy Hochul. One of the other governors that was brought forward was J.B. Pritzker from Illinois. And Republicans like to do this thing, which it's like the same as a vax, like the vax stuff, where they're like, oh, I'd hate to live in a blue state. Yeah, they're better. The schools are better. Everything's better except for taxes. That's it. And then we use the blue states also somehow with higher taxes make more money, and then they subsidize your dog shit red state. So they send money out, you guys take money in, and it's crazy. Like if you live in Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, Missouri, Louisiana, Idaho, any of these like deep red states, you guys are welfare recipients. You take in more money from the federal government than you send to them. And you guys spend all your time whining about the people who pay all of your bills. And you call everybody else like welfare queens. It's crazy. Red states are welfare recipients trying to kill welfare. You don't exist without blue states. You're fucked without blue states. They somehow can tax people at a higher rate and make more money and generate more tax revenue to keep you guys from ceasing to exist. And you still criticize them all the time, like blue states are bad. You don't exist without them. Whatever red state you live in, make sure to thank a blue stater today. Make sure to thank one of those blue-haired lesbians that you all hate. Thank one of them today, because that's how your state still exists. Here's evidence of that. If any Republican governor had the stats that they're just about to roll out for J.B. Pritzker, you would fall all over yourselves to brag about them.
Governor Pritzker, President Trump has called Illinois, quote, a poorly run state. But the truth, of course, is the opposite. Governor, Illinois has had 7 consecutive balanced budgets, right?
That's correct, Congressman.
And our
4 consecutive balanced budgets. That's a Republican wet dream. That's all. Republicans love talking about balanced budgets, unless it's a Democratic governor who's balancing the budget.
credit rating has been raised 9 times in the last 6 years, correct?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Why thank them? Thank them because they're paying your fucking bills. You guys didn't have any problem demanding that Zelensky thank Donald Trump for some reason. You didn't have any problem. Thank them because they're paying your bills. Without blue states, you guys don't exist. That's why you should thank them. Be grateful, right? Remember how we're supposed to be grateful for people who pay all of our bills? We could stop paying your bills for you. We could stop paying for your education. We could stop paying for your health care. We could stop paying for the fact that your states have like the percentage. You have more people on things like SNAP and unemployment. And you know what's crazy? We're happy to fucking do it. We're happy to do it. We think that people should get health care. We think that people should have food. We think that your children shouldn't go to school hungry. So you know what? We just pay the taxes. We just pay. We care more about your kids than you do. You guys are cutting funding for your kids right and fucking left. And then when it comes time, when you have a hurricane come through, when you have a tornado come through, where do you think that FEMA money's coming from? Is it coming from you? Hell no. It's coming from blue states. Because we care if you guys rebuild. We care if you guys have food and clean water. We care about all that stuff. So we subsidize you even though all you do is bitch about us. All you ever do is cry about blue states and cry about Democrats. And they're paying all your fucking bills. Happy to do it. We'll continue to do it too. But it would be nice if you guys stopped being like fucking morons for 2 seconds and realized that you don't exist without blue states. If you cut off, if you said like we're gonna divide, we're gonna make 2 countries, the blue states and the red states, you guys are fucked. What are you gonna do? You are beyond fucked. You don't have the money to pay for all your shit. You're gonna have to figure out. You know what would really happen? You guys would start taxing rich people. That's what would happen. You would have to tax people appropriately. And this is what sucks about America and this two-party divide, is that we have one party who will always say we're going to cut taxes. And they have convinced you that like taxation is theft. And so they vote to keep their taxes low and they don't pay any of their bills. But because we have hearts, we have to pay your bills. So you guys keep voting for people who aren't ever going to pay your bills, like Donald Trump, who's just going to drive us into debt by cutting taxes. And you know what will happen after he leaves? The same thing that happened when Barack Obama came into office. He just slowly started trying to get closer and closer to a balanced budget. And you'll see deficit spending was getting closer to zero. It was getting closer to zero. And as soon as Trump took over, tax cuts jumped in. Boom. It went right back down. Started expanding that deficit again. You guys are fiscally irresponsible. You're fiscally dumb. And your politicians just lie to you all the time. And you let them do it. All because you think you're going to keep more money in your pocket at the end of the day. But people from blue states are keeping more money. They get taxed at a higher rate and they have more money. How does that happen? How does it happen that Scandinavian countries that are taxed at 50% at the end of the month, they have money left over? And you idiots at the end of the month in Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana, you gotta go to the government and be like, hey, we need some help. And then the government has to go to blue states and go, we're going to need some more of that money to take care of Mississippi over here. And we're happy to do it. But you guys are just leeches. Every time Republicans get in office, you fuck up the debt. Every fucking time. And who benefits? Rich people. I don't know if this is why they keep you guys so dumb. I don't know what this is why they all fuck up the education system in every one of your states. You guys, if you're in a red state, your education system is dog shit. And what do they do? What does your government tell you? What do your representatives tell you? We should abolish the Department of Education. Look how shitty our schools are. That was you, dog. You did that. The Department of Education didn't set your curriculum. The Department of Education doesn't set your local tax rates. It doesn't set your property tax rates. It doesn't dictate the level to which you fund your schools. That was you. You guys look at the shit that's happening in your area that's fucked up, and you blame the federal government because you're too goddamn dumb to understand how a fucking budget works. You don't even know how any of this works. Everything that you hate about your state is your fucking fault. Blue states are the most well-run states. Factually, they pay their bills, and they pay your bills, and the people in blue states have more access to health care, more access to education, and they have more money left over at the end of the month, and they tax at higher rates. You're being duped. You're being lied to by people who just want to keep all of the money and hand it off to their billionaire friends. And that's why your states keep getting poorer. That's why things aren't getting better for you. But because you live in a red state, surrounded by red idiots who are like, oh, this is Joe Biden's fault. Oh, it's totally the Dems. You just keep voting for the same shit that makes your state shitty. Your state is shitty for a reason. It's shitty because you keep letting Republicans run it. Your education is shitty because Republicans run it. Your healthcare is shitty because Republicans run it. You don't have money because Republicans run your state. Your roads are shitty because Republicans run it. Your natural disaster response is shitty because Republicans run it. You have no clue what you're looking at. It is getting tiresome, like bailing you guys out and then having you be like, oh, look at us. We did this again. You do nothing. Red states have accomplished nothing in this country. You guys are a drain. You're a weight. We're just dragging your ass around all the time. And all the while you're like, oh, look at these stupid Democrats paying all our bills. Fuck these guys. I fucking hate the Democrats. I would never live in a Democrat state. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to live in squalor. Enjoy it. South Carolina's booming. Yeah, how's your education in South Carolina? Dog shit. You don't know what booming is. You guys, they'll tell you, like the governor of South Carolina will come out and look, our revenues are up. Oh, yeah? Can people afford more? They can't? Is your education getting better? No. Is your healthcare getting better? No. Oh, but a couple of rich people got richer? Okay, yeah, we're booming.
After 21 downgrades under Republican and others.
And it now stands at an A rating, right?
It does.
In contrast, under President Trump, every credit agency has downgraded America's credit rating below the top level. The first time in history that's happened. Isn't that right?
That's correct.
I actually saw that. Somebody said most blue states are governed by Republicans. That's not true, but some are. And you know why they do well? is because the Republican governors in those states, they don't go and cut taxes. They invest in education. They invest in healthcare. Once they're surrounded by a bunch of other Democrats and they bring the math forward, and the Republican governor of a blue state realizes that they can't win if he's going to fuck up their education and their healthcare, they usually do it. That's why Mitt Romney was the first governor as a Republican to pass universal healthcare in Massachusetts. He didn't want to do it, but he got surrounded by Democrats, and then they brought their proposals to the table, and one of them was going to work and one didn't. And they passed universal health care with a balanced budget in Massachusetts. In fact, they had a surplus. They were paying for everybody's health care, and they had a surplus in Massachusetts. So yeah, a Republican governor can govern, but he's not the legislature. He signs bills, right? That's what Mitt Romney did.
Trump and others claim the federal government props up Illinois. But in reality, we're one of 13 states in the country that actually give more tax revenue to Washington, D.C. than we receive in return. Now, let me turn to some of the reasons why Illinois is a donor state and not a taker state. Illinois has a $1.1 trillion economy. We produce the most soybeans in America, and we're the #2 producer of corn, right?
That is correct.
That's right. Illinois is turning us all soy. Sorry, Republicans. That's where it's coming. That's where we're getting our soy. It's all from Illinois.
#2 manufacturing state in the country.
We are.
And we're the #2 destination for corporate expansions and relocations, right?
And Chicago is #1.
Thanks to you.
How'd that happen with all these high taxes? How did all these things happen with higher taxes? How'd it happen? It's almost like it works, right? Rory said, I knew after yesterday you'd come back today on fire. Thanks for doing my homework. Laura says, as a native Californian, I 100% agree. RTV, well said. Tanya said, happy Friday the 13th. Oh, shit, it's Friday the 13th. I didn't even notice that.
We have the world's first quantum and microelectronics park, correct?
That's right.
And we're ranked top in the Midwest for workforce development, correct?
Yes, we are.
And startups?
That's right.
Illinois is the heart and soul of America, Governor. It's where the cell phone was invented, was home to the first McDonald's, and was the home of amazing leaders, Lincoln, Reagan, Obama, Grant, even Superman, and yes, the Pope. And here's a picture of the Pope wearing a Chicago White Sox cap. The next Pope's going to be a Cubs fan.
There you go.
Illinois has terrific jobs, people, and pizza. Some may even say that God is on our side, Governor. I'm proud to be from Peoria. I'll always stand up for Illinois, loud and proud. I yield back.
Yeah, you're welcome, red states. You're welcome. I live in Arizona. We're not helping out. We're not doing a lot to help out. We're fucking up our schools over here in Arizona too. So Joseph said South Carolina is booming. They moved their toilets indoors. The booms are inside now. They do a boom boom inside. That's so good. I loved that. All right. Here's Jasmine Crockett. Go off. We haven't had a good Jasmine Crockett moment in a minute. Here's Jasmine Crockett yesterday, pointing out the rank hypocrisy of the Republicans. Republicans, if there is ever a crime committed by an immigrant, they will hold hearing after hearing after hearing. But if crimes are committed, and crimes keep being committed by white nationalists, we're never going to talk about it.
To have a number of FIFA games in Dallas. And I am fully anticipating that we are going to have a problem because I've been receiving phone calls that people don't feel safe coming here. And it's not the immigrants. It's this government that is making them feel unsafe. But let me also do this, because they love to cherry pick. They can find, any one person that has been killed. And if they've been killed by an immigrant, then God darn it, every single immigrant is going out and they are killers. And that is the problem. But they don't want to talk about white supremacy. I don't know how many hearings we going to have about the fact that there's been this one immigrant that killed this one person. And no, I'm not excusing any killings by them or white supremacists. But they haven't had these hearings. We didn't have a hearing on Buffalo and what happened there.
White supremacists, white nationalists, targeted black people. I think 13 people were killed. No hearing.
Didn't have a hearing on El Paso and what happened there.
I think that was the Walmart shooting, if I remember correctly. No hearing. Same thing.
We didn't have a hearing on Charleston and what happened there. So it's interesting.
I don't remember the Charleston one was. I don't remember what the Charleston one was. Somebody in the chat probably knows.
That they pick and choose because it seems like they love to pal around with the white supremacists, and so they don't want to talk about certain other things. But economically, I want to make sure that we're making this point again, because I know that Governor Pritzker, you were the beneficiary of a lot of things from the state of Texas. And a lot of people believe that Republicans are fiscally responsible, but instead they are actually fiscally irresponsible because what...
Woo! Say it. This is what Democrats just need to do this all day, every day. Just point out how fiscally irresponsible Republicans are. Sully said, because Jen said so, and she's my daddy. Jen is everybody's daddy, but I appreciate that. Every day. Don't ever let a Republican talk about fiscal responsibility ever again. They are net. They take in more money than they send out, and they don't balance budgets. They explode our deficits, and every single time, all the money goes to rich people.
What he spent was a whopping $221 million transporting people from Texas to your state. Something tells me that he could have done something else with that $221 million.
How's that fiscally responsible? Texas? How's that fiscally responsible? Just moving people out of the state? Spending all that money? By the way, the federal government would have helped subsidize those people being there. So you could have had the people stay there in the state. The federal government would have subsidized it for you. You'd be out no money. It almost seems like you don't want immigrants at all. It almost seems like it's not about the money. It almost seems like there's I don't know, racism, bigotry. You're going to spend millions of dollars and then complain that the federal government is spending money. All right.
In addition to that, I know that there's been some conversations about what's going on in LA, and they want to say that it's riots because they didn't want people to keep talking about, say, the Epstein files or whatever other drama was popping off between the president and his little friend. So they wanted to change the conversation to immigration because they feel like, well, the polling is in our benefit. But let me tell you something. If they cared about making sure we were going to be fiscally responsible, they would tell the American people that it cost them $134 million to send the National Guard to LA for the quote-unquote riots that the governor didn't ask for, nor did the mayor of LA ask for.
And then they just sat around. They just sat around and didn't do anything. All that money for what? For absolutely nothing. Oh, by the way, it looks like the appeals court has issued a stay on the prior court's decision to return control back to Gavin Newsom. What is this, Ninth Court of Appeals? What did they have to say about this? His action relieved. The judge stayed the order until Friday afternoon to give the Trump administration time to appeal against it. The administration did so almost immediately after the order was issued. Okay, so we'll have to wait to hear that. So it's temporarily stayed.
And they sent them over there, and they say that they care about our service members, yet they sent them and they were laying on the floor. They did not provide for food. So I don't know why we would believe that, number one, they want to fix this. They don't want to fix this. Because the brokenness is a feature, not a flaw of the system, because it is beneficial to them when it comes to campaigning.
No, Nick, you're wrong. In fact, more people moved from Florida to California than California to Florida. You're wrong about that, Nick. You're actually wrong about that. But the people that are fleeing to red states, and this happened to Utah. It's a great example, actually. Utah decided to cut a bunch of tax breaks, or give a bunch of tax breaks to companies that wanted to relocate from specifically Silicon Valley to Utah. So they said, come here, we're more tax friendly. And within 10 years of those tax breaks, Utah is completely unaffordable for regular people. School teachers can't afford their homes. Like if you're a school teacher right now in Utah, you can't afford a home anymore. You can't afford rent anymore. It skyrocketed the price of everything. And it also skyrocketed the number of unhoused people, because when you price people out of houses, they don't have anywhere to live. And so now you have all these Republicans who are complaining about homeless people in Salt Lake City. And instead of looking at the situation and going, I wonder what happened. I wonder if it was all this money that came in and we have a limited amount of housing and it skyrocketed the housing and now people are unhoused. No, it's because these people came from California and they're liberals. And so I guess just the unhoused people followed them. That's what my Republican friends that live in Utah think. They're like, oh, yeah, it's because the people came here from California. So naturally, there's just going to be increased numbers of homeless people. No, it's because you price people out. When you cut taxes, and you're finding this out in Austin, Texas right now too. You're finding it out. They're finding it out in Colorado. They're finding it out in Montana. All these people, all these Republicans in those states are like, don't California or Montana. The reason they went to California in the first place is because California, who was led by Republicans, cut taxes and made it business friendly, and then they priced everybody out. And then people are like, oh, it's too expensive to live here now. That's how it always happens. So they flee to a state who is a welfare state, who doesn't send revenues to the federal government, who receives more than they send out. And then they're like, oh, this is so much better. Yeah, you're getting welfare. It's easier, isn't it? It's a lot easier when you get handouts.
If they can't stoke fear, then why are they going to say have anybody
Nashville,
vote for them?
Memphis.
Because that's what people are doing. They're voting out of fear. But Ms. Perryman, we know each other a little well. And I know you got a law degree. And it seems like we all need law degrees in here nowadays to understand the Constitution. So really briefly,
I know you have to maker yours, all good, but bro, you're just a tool to add fuel. It's clear that you have no knowledge at all of how money works. Come on up here, Lilo's Discovery. You spent $5. You can come up here and tell me. Come tell me about how money works then. Come tell me all about it. Mary said, no King's Day tomorrow. Get out and protest. Thanks, Jay. Great week. I read that from Sully.
I just want to make this point. There is a certain person that was afforded, say, due process. But let's say if, say, Donald Trump had been charged with all of these cases that he got charged with in 4 different jurisdictions, if he wasn't afforded due process, there could have been a possibility that he just would have been locked up and thrown somewhere, right?
That would be a possibility.
And then maybe we wouldn't have a tariff war or anything else that we're dealing with or all the other nonsense. But the point is, he was afforded due process. And regardless of the political opposition, Democrats, Republicans, and independents, I thought, believe that due process should be afforded to everybody, even him.
Due process is for everyone.
Okay.
There we go. Lilo, there's the instructions there. You just have to add Jen on Discord. You can come up. Angela said, I have a prediction. They're going to break up the big, beautiful bill and call it a bunch of itty bitty, beautiful baby bills. I like that. Izzy, thank you for joining the Dollar Train. I think I might have missed one. Brad said, anyone looking to buy a DeLorean? Good shape, good mileage, only driven from time to time. Charles said, $1 for the train, the rest because you deserve it. Kristen said, is Jesus fucking Christ synonymous with masturbation? Jamar said, clearly Jen had a baby yesterday and Jay forgot how could. Oh, good time to read that message. Hey, Jen.
Hi.
Hi.
I hope Jumar stubs his toe. All right. Yeah. So like Jay mentioned, if you guys want to come on and talk to RTP, how you do that is if you look at the Venmo username, and I also tagged it in Twitch and YouTube comments, DM me on Discord, Jen with 2 N's, Dub with 2 B's, the number 1, and I can bring you up to talk to him in real time. No, Jen did not have a baby. Jen is not having any more babies. I am absolutely done having spawns. No thanks. Anyways, we've got about an hour before Friendly Friday is supposed to start. So we've got, Jay needs to update that gift goal total. So when he does that, you'll see the balance that we've got left. What are you laughing at?
Nothing. Nothing. Everything's good.
Whatever. Right. Anyways, so by the end of the show, preferably before Friendly Friday, if you guys could help us knock out the rest of that balance, that would be fantastic. This is our job, as much as people disagree. We do this each day, Monday through Friday, from 9:30 to 1 Pacific time. So if you guys could help knock out the rest of that, that would be fantastic. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats, all go towards finishing off that gift goal. If you haven't already subscribed to us, you can do it on all different platforms. On Twitch, you can use your Amazon Prime sub. On YouTube, but you can do it for free. Or if you'd like to help us out, you can also use one of the 4 different memberships we have. I already mentioned how you can come on to talk, and also check out our link tree. We're on most social media platforms. We are on Cameo and Spotify as well. We're trying to get to 10,000 watch hours in the next 30 days for Twitch. So if you guys could help us out by going in and streaming that. One of our mods mentioned that she's got a laptop where she's just playing some of the episodes to help us out. If you guys feel so inclined, that would be awesome.
Jen, there's a lot of people wondering if you're going to take part in the calendar, if there's going to be a Jen month.
I think we talked about this last time. Maybe you can get something of me, like giving the middle finger or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What about just like smiling? Are you open to
No.
that? No, we're not open to
Nah.
smiling. Okay.
No, I'm good. Smiling's no thanks. I'm good. No thanks. I spotted an albino Dalmatian the other day.
Okay.
I thought it was the least I could do.
How am I missing that? Least I could do. How am I missing that?
Albino Dalmatian is all white. I spotted it.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. That was tough.
Got it?
Yeah, I got it now. Thank you.
Got it. All right, cool.
Okay, bye. Brian said, I love you, man. Thank you. Appreciate that, Brian. I love you too. All right, we're going to get to Pete Hegseth now. I'm going to kick this off because one of the most alarming things, I think, at this point is the amount of people who know that they're lying who continue to lie about very, very obvious lies. Let me pull this up real quick. I'll pull it up. I'll explain. Here was Kash Patel to introduce this topic when he was on Rogan. Now, Kash Patel 100% knows that he's lying right now, mostly because he was part of the lie. Joe Rogan, of course, doesn't know anything, so Joe Rogan's not going to check him here. But this is one of those lies that is blowing my mind. I to this day, I can't figure out how Republicans are still telling this lie with a straight face and how Republican followers are still eating it up with a straight face. Here's Kash Patel.
Totally switching gears, but a similar disinformation tale. January 6th, right? I was chief of staff at DOD on January 6th. Days before January 6th, I was in the Oval Office with the president, the Secretary of Defense, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff on a foreign matter. And on that day, he goes, hey, how's it looking for January 6th? Do you guys have everything you need? And he goes, I'm going to authorize up to 10 to 20,000 National Guardsmen and women if you guys need them anywhere in the country. The reason that's important is because we can't uniformly deploy military in the United States. That's what the National Guard's for.
So far, all of this is true.
But in order to do that, the president has to, one, authorize it, and two, the mayor or governor, so it's D.C., so it's the mayor and the Capitol Police and the Speaker of the House are in charge, have to...
That's not true. The governor, as we've learned, that the governor can call up the National Guard. The Speaker of the House cannot call up the National Guard. And the mayor also cannot call up the National Guard. The National Guard reports directly, only in D.C. The D.C. National Guard reports directly to the Secretary of the Army. They do not report, nor do they take orders from Muriel Bowser or the D.C. mayor, and they do not take orders from the Speaker of the House. Of course they don't. Nowhere in our laws does it say that the National Guard is under the direction of the Speaker of the House. Now, the Speaker of the House, because she has oversight over the Capitol Police, she can make a request. She could request the Army. Secretary of the Army. She could request from the Secretary of the Army that the National Guard be called in, but it would have to be approved by the Secretary of the Army, not the Speaker of the House. The mayor of D.C. can request National Guard troops, but she cannot call them up. That has to be done through the Secretary of the Army. So this is a lie. The request is true. Do they have to request it? No, they do not have to request it. However, in this case, they both did request it.
Request the deployment of troops. We went to them days before January 6th. We went to Bowser, we went to Pelosi. They said no in writing.
No, they didn't.
We were excoriated for it. Your guys are lying. You didn't offer this up. If you had been there, this would have never happened. Well, actually, President Trump preemptively authorized 10 to 20,000 National Guard.
All right, let me show you. He said that in writing, they declined. We're going to look at this. This is from Muriel Bowser. And this says, As the law enforcement agency charged with protecting residents and visitors throughout the District of Columbia, the Metro PD is prepared for this week's First Amendment activities. MPD is coordinated with its federal partners, namely the U.S. Park Police, U.S. Capitol Police, and the U.S. Secret Service, all of whom have uniformed personnel protecting federal assets in the District of Columbia. This week, MPD has additional logistical support of unarmed members of the D.C. National Guard, who will work under the direction of and in coordination with MPD. The District of Columbia has not requested personnel from any other federal law enforcement agencies. To avoid confusion, we ask that any request for additional assistance be coordinated using the same process and procedures. We are mindful that in 2020, MPD was expected to perform the demanding task of policing large crowds while working around unidentifiable personnel deployed in the District of Columbia without proper coordination. Unidentifiable personnel, in many cases armed, cause confusion among residents and visitors and could become a national security threat. In no way for MPD and federal law enforcement to decipher armed groups. To be clear, the District of Columbia is not requesting other federal law enforcement personnel and discourages any additional deployment without immediate notification to and consultation with MPD if plans are such underway. The protection of persons and property is our utmost concern and responsibility. MPD is well trained and prepared to lead law enforcement coordination response to allow for the peaceful demonstration of First Amendment rights in the District of Columbia. So the letter, a few days before, from Muriel Bowser is saying we are going to work with the District of the D.C. National Guard. This is a letter sent to Jeffrey Rosen, who's the acting at the time United States Attorney General, Ryan McCarthy, who was the Secretary of the Army at the time, who is in command of the D.C. National Guard, and to Chris Miller, who was the acting Secretary of Defense. And you might say, like, oh, what did they get this letter? They absolutely did get this letter. And then they also responded to this letter. Here is the response letter that, again, Kash Patel says, she said we don't need the National Guard. Her letter specifically says we will work with the National Guard. And then Christopher Miller, who was the Secretary of Defense at the time, said, this memorandum responds to your January 4th memorandum regarding the District of Columbia request for D.C. National Guard support in response to planned demonstrations from January 5th to the 6th. You're authorized to approve the requested support subject to my guidance below. I've read this a million times, but basically it just says that here's what the D.C. National Guard's allowed to do. And then he says, at all times, the D.C. National Guard will remain under the operational and administrative command and control of the commanding general of the D.C. National Guard, who reports to the Secretary of Defense through the Secretary of Army. This is Christopher Miller saying you've requested the National Guard. We're aware of your request. Here's what they're allowed to do, and they will be under the operational and administrative command and control of the commanding general of the D.C. National Guard, who directly reports to Ryan McCarthy, who is the Secretary of the Army, who directly directly reports to me, and I directly report to the president. So there were three people who could call in the National Guard: Ryan McCarthy, Christopher Miller, and Donald Trump. Ryan McCarthy could do it. Christopher Miller could do it. Donald Trump could do it. Donald Trump doesn't need permission from Ryan McCarthy or from Christopher Miller. He could have called it in at any time. I do not know why you motherfuckers keep allowing your elected officials, the FBI director and the Secretary of Defense, to keep lying to you about January 6th. Why do you sit back and just let them lie repeatedly? It is absolutely a lie that Nancy Pelosi said no troops or that she could call in troops. It is absolutely a lie that Mayor Bowser said we don't need troops. She requested troops. We have the communication back and forth. Kash Patel's lying. And now Pete Hegseth is also going to lie. I don't know why you guys like being lied to like this. I don't know if it's like a fun game for you. If I were you, I would be upset. I'd be like, why do all of these people lie to me? Here is Senator Murphy. He's going to also expose this, and Pete Hegseth is just going to lie over and over and over again, or not answer questions. Now you're about to see about probably the rest of our show, just Republicans refusing to answer questions.
You can assuage people's concerns that there is a double standard. The National Guard was deployed here on January 6th, and that was a decision made by the Department of Defense.
This is incredible. Do you guys see this? I just showed them the evidence that Kash Patel was lying, and they're like, no, he's not lying. That's what's sick about you people. It doesn't matter what evidence you're presented with. You'll just always say that I'm lying and they're not. Cody said, keep holding MAGA accountable. Love the work you do. Keep at it, Hat Boy. Thank you. And Chris said, not sure what I would do without my daily RTP fix. Thanks always. Danielle said, first protest tomorrow. Mom and stepmom are joining. Thanks for doing all you're doing. No kings. I love that. Chelsea said, for the gift goal. Brian said, love you, man. I think I got that, but I like the love.
Defense. Do you support that decision? Do you believe that that was the right decision to deploy the National Guard to defend the Capitol on January 6th?
All I know is it's the right decision to be deploying the National Guard in Los Angeles to defend ICE agents.
Doesn't answer the question. There's one.
Who deserve to be defended in the execution of their jobs.
But I think it's important to know whether you think it was also important to have the National Guard defending the United States Capitol when there were violent protesters here on the president's behalf, to make sure that folks know that you care about protest, whether it's against the president or on behalf of the president.
Senator, I was in the Washington, D.C. National Guard when that happened and was initially ordered to go guard the inauguration of Joe Biden. But because of the politicization of the Biden administration, my orders were revoked. And ultimately, because of the politics that were being played inside the Defense Department by the previous administration.
Yeah, you were on Fox News cheerleading it, dipshit. Yeah. If I was Joe Biden and I was taking office, I probably wouldn't have people coming to guard me who were cheerleading it either.
But do you support the decision made on January 6th to send the National Guard here to defend
I
the
support
Capitol?
the decision that President Trump made and requesting the National Guard that was denied.
So you do not.
I support. Do you support not calling in the troops on January 6th? I support Donald Trump calling in the troops and being denied. They can't deny him. In what world can the fucking mayor of D.C. or the Speaker of the House deny Donald Trump calling in the National Guard? He is the commander-in-chief. In what world? Where's the justification where they could do that? Gavin Newsom could do it, and we have a battle here because Gavin Newsom is overseeing the California National Guard. But in D.C., it's different because they directly report to the Army, who directly reports to Donald Trump. This is a lie, and Pete Hegseth knows it's a lie. Not only did he not answer the question, he answered the question with a lie.
President Trump
You
did
do
not
not support the
requested
decision.
support
You do not
for the
support
National
the
Guard
decision
in
to send the
advance
National
and was
Guard here
denied.
to defend the Capitol. I think that speaks to the worry that many Americans have that there is a double standard, that you are not willing to defend.
No, this is not. Don't play both sides with this. Don't play both sides with this, love you. One side is telling the truth. Our side. We're telling the truth about what happened on January 6th. The other side won't engage, and when they do engage, they lie. This is not both sidesism. Don't do whataboutism right now. Stay in the moment for once, guys. Stay in the fucking moment. Don't worry about something else that happened. In this moment, Pete Hegseth is lying, and that's the third lie he's told now. Every question, he has lied and not answered the question. Stay here. Stay present. Don't freak the fuck out and start talking about other things. Be an adult and stay in this discussion.
Against attacks made on our democracy by supporters of the president, but you are willing to deploy the National Guard to protect against protesters who are criticizing the president. That's not how our taxpayer dollars are supposed to work. They're supposed to be used to defend the United States, no matter the nature of the political affiliation of the protesters. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
SJ says, what do you call a row of rabbits hopping backwards? A receding hairline. What's under the hat, Jay? Is it bald? Is it bald? It's not bald. It's a little matted down. We got hair under there. Thank you. It's a little receding, though, if we're being honest. It's a little receding right there. All right. There's Hegseth lying. Let's see all these other times. That was probably just unusual for him to not answer a question, right? Like this time, this time Pete Hegseth's definitely going to answer questions, and he's going to answer them honestly.
From Massachusetts, Mr. Moulton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Hegseth, I'd like to clarify a few important details for the record. When you texted the launch time for F-18s going into combat over enemy territory facing anti-aircraft missiles on an unclassified signal chat, did that launch time come from Central Command, yes or no?
I know what you're referring to, and there were no.
It's a very simple question. Did it
Immediately not going to answer the question. Immediately.
come from? It's a very simple question. Did it come from Central Command?
Well, in this committee, no way in which I communicate or what I communicate on a successful strike is something that I would share.
So you can't even identify the combatant command under which this operation occurred?
Well, everybody knows the
Okay, so everyone knows the Central Command. So when Central Command sent you this information, did they send it on a classified system or an unclassified system?
Well, as you know, having served yourself, any way that the Secretary of Defense communicates or provides information in and of itself is classified and not to be discussed.
Okay, so just so we're clear here, he just admitted that the information he sent to that signal chat was sent to him, which means because it was sent to him from command, that it is by definition classified. Just so we're clear. He did get caught right there. He's going to try and weasel his way out for the next 5 minutes. But he just admitted that he shared classified information.
What was the classification marking of the launch time when it was sent to you? Because DOD regulations require information on classified systems to be marked.
What was the classification mark time?
Yeah. What was the classification marking?
Because again, classifications of any information in an ongoing operation that was successful are not things that would be disclosed in a public forum.
You can very well disclose whether or not it was classified. It's not classified to disclose whether or not it was classified. And in fact, DOD regulations state that any classified information has to be labeled with its classification. Was it classified secret or top secret?
What's not classified is that it was an incredibly...
Bro, what? What is this? Just hear the question. He will not answer a fucking question. He's such a fucking joke. This is your government. Like Pete Hegseth or not, this slimy little bitch doesn't answer questions. He's lying to you. He's lying to us. He's not telling you the truth. If you want to sit in the cuck chair and let these people lie to you, if you want to be in this type of abusive relationship, that's on you. But you don't get to pretend that they're not lying.
You can very well disclose whether or not it was classified. It's not classified to disclose whether or not it was classified. And in fact, DOD regulations state that any classified information has to be labeled with its classification. Was it classified secret or top secret?
Was it classified secret or top secret? That's the question he's asking. Was it classified secret or top secret? Was it classified secret or top secret? He's asking about specific communication. Was that specific communication labeled secret or top secret? Let's see if he gives an answer.
What's not classified is that it was an incredibly successful mission against the Houthis.
Okay, so it was classified.
Well, what's not classified is we did a good job. Okay. Didn't answer the question, did he? What a man. That's a man's man right there. That's an alpha male. Everybody knows an alpha male just doesn't ever answer questions, just runs from questions. I think the thing that Republicans are most afraid of is legitimately answering questions. I don't know if there's anything that scares elected Republican politicians more than honestly answering a question.
Classified. So are you trying to say that the information was unclassified?
I'm not trying to say anything.
That's what I thought. You're not saying that. So you took classified information from Central Command that had a classification marking on it, because that's what's required by DOD regulations, and you put it on an unclassified system. So we're going to get a report in a few days from the DOD Inspector General. And if the DOD Inspector General finds what is pretty obvious, both to you smiling there in the witness seat and to all of us up here, that the information was, in fact, classified, do you plan to take any accountability for that?
As I pointed out at the time...
you said that accountability is back. Does that not apply to you?
As I said at the time, Congressman, there were no names, targets, locations, units, routes, sources, methods, no classified information.
So if they come back and they say that you, just say yes. If the report comes back that says you shared classified information, will you hold yourself accountable? Well, I've already said that it's not classified. Then just say yes. If it comes back that it's classified and you broke the rules, you'll hold yourself accountable. Is that a hard question? Is that a bridge too far for you Republicans? Are you upset that the Democrats are asking your elected leaders who keep talking about accountability whether or not they will hold themselves accountable if they broke rules? That's a fair question. And that should elicit a very simple yes or no question. And if I were you, I would be embarrassed right now. I'd be embarrassed that my side of the aisle doesn't ever answer any questions. In fact, they purposely go out of their way not to answer questions and to come in before Congress and never answer anything. By the way, this is the same guy who showed up to Congress without a fucking budget. This Republican transparency didn't even show up with a budget. And then when they ask for a budget, it's like, nah, I might get it to you at some point. We'll see.
Okay, so if it comes back that it is classified, will you take accountability or not? We've already established.
Tough question. Tough question. It's hard, huh? It's hard when you find out that you might be held accountable. I thought the accountability was for everybody else. I'm the leader. I'm holding everybody else accountable. Not me, though. That's a tough question.
That it was classified because everything you get from CENTCOM is classified. You just explained that to me. That's how you justified not answering the question.
Not what I said. I didn't confirm any classification or
Okay, so if it is
what
confirmed,
I know is that
will you take
everything I
accountability?
share, everything I talk about,
Mr. Secretary, does accountability?
No, don't play. You're playing both sidesism again. Why do you always play both sidesism? Show me an example of the last Secretary of Defense refusing to answer questions like this. This is what you do. This is the middle, like the fence riders. You guys are the ones that maybe piss me off the most, because it's like the MAGA, we expect them to just like close their eyes and close their ears. But you guys, this is what everybody does. Nope, not the last Secretary of Defense. The last Secretary of Defense showed up with a budget. The last Secretary of Defense showed up and answered questions. This is what you do when you're uncomfortable. You're fence riding right now, and you recognize that this is uncomfortable. And so in order to not sit with this uncomfortability and realize that this is unusual, you went to whataboutism. Show the clip. Run it. Send it to Jen. Send me the clip of the last Secretary of Defense sitting before Congress, refusing to answer very simple yes or no questions. Send them to me. I've seen General Milley testify many times. He was pretty honest.
Apply to you or not?
Is classified whether I talk or not.
Does it apply to you or not?
Does what apply to me?
Accountability. You said accountability is back at the Secretary.
And you know what? The Houthis were held accountable for shooting at our
I'm
ship
just asking if it applies to you.
very successfully.
I'm not asking about the
previous
Houthis.
administration let our ships get shot at, and nothing was done about it. And thankfully, because of the skill and courage of our troops on the battlefield,
asking about
we
I reclaim my
put them
time.
in a place
I
where
reclaim
they
my time.
called for a
Running, just sprinting away. I want to talk about something else, please. Where's the accountability? Where's the transparency? Our government lies to us, so we're going to hire bigger liars.
ceasefire.
I reclaim my time. I'm just asking if accountability applies to you. It's a very simple question. We use leadership by example.
Of course. Unlike, I serve at the pleasure of the president like everybody else does.
So it only applies to the president, not to you.
I serve at the pleasure.
You talked about
What the fuck is that answer? Does accountability apply to you? I serve at the pleasure of the president. What? What in the fuck is that answer? What is that? That doesn't even make any sense. Will you hold yourself accountable? I serve at the pleasure of the president. Okay. I have on a blue tie. All right. Could you answer the question in a way that makes any goddamn sense?
That's the Houthi operation. About how much money did it cost? How much money did you spend on missiles shooting at the Houthis?
Well, you'd have to compare that with what it cost.
I'm just asking how much did it cost?
How much did it cost? Well, you'd have to run, bitch. Run, bitch.
Planes around.
I'm told it's several $100 million, maybe close to $1 billion. How many U.S. flagged commercial ships have transited the Red Sea since your so-called successful operation?
Well, thankfully, unlike the previous administration.
Oh, no, we got a chance to. Not going to answer it, but I am going to try and shit on Biden real quick.
Zero.
Military vessels transit.
No. I didn't ask about military vessels. I
which
asked
would
about
be the
commercial
precursor
vessels.
for
how many
civilian and
commercial vessels?
transit.
It's been several weeks. How many commercial vessels, U.S. flagged, have transited
Well,
the
would
Red
you, Mr. Congressman, put civilian ships?
The question. Can answer a question? Still no answers. That's like the 20th time so far with this guy. He has answered 0 questions.
Questions are not to me, Mr. Secretary. They're to you.
We have responsibly put military.
The answer is 0.
First.
I reclaim my time. How many generals and admirals have you fired?
I don't know the exact number, but
you don't know the number. It's 8. Can you?
In all fairness, That's on more than one hand. And usually Pete Hegseth has one hand full of liquor. So in all fairness to Pete Hegseth, I feel like this was an unfair question. 1, he's probably too drunk to count. 2, he probably doesn't remember firing them. And 3, not enough fingers. So in this one, I side with Pete Hegseth here. I don't know if he can get to 8. Did he just say he's pleasuring
Explain why
the
any of them
president?
were fired? Like, just explain why was...
They all serve at the pleasure of the president. And I think
No, I'm just asking you why.
General Kane is a great example.
I'm
of-
just
of
asking
a
you
leader
why.
That we
And
need
you
at
probably
this
learned
time.
at Princeton what why means. Why did you fire him?
They serve at the pleasure of the president, and we want
Why
better
did you
representation
fire
in
him?
each and every of those.
You can't
each and
explain
every
why
one
you
of those
fired any of
places.
them?
All right, so we went 5 straight minutes, didn't answer a single fucking question. Pretty cool, right, Republicans? You proud of this? Republicans have gotten a little quiet in the chat. Robin said, not sure if you talked about Florida, but we are getting threats from MAGA after Sheriff and DeSatan's comments. Yeah, we played it right at the beginning, Robin. It's insane. That guy's just everything wrong with America, just begging to be abusive, begging to take somebody out. Amy Lynn said, because Trump is a weak-ass little bitch and Nancy is his mommy, apparently. Roy said, did he say, oh, I read that. Did he say he's pleasuring the president? All right, more of Pete Hegseth. It doesn't get better. Here's Pete Hegseth now being questioned. I forgot to write down who's questioning. Ro Khanna. Now, Ro Khanna, even tries really hard. He tries really hard to give Pete Hegseth questions that aren't hard to answer. And Hegseth has one goal today, and it is to not answer a question. See these notes in front of him, by the way? These are, and you'll hear them. They all actually say the same thing. These are notes. These are pre-printed lines that you'll notice after they ask a question, they look down for one that is kind of fitting, and then they just read the line. Usually the line is like, I have my mouth full of Donald Trump's penis. That's usually what the line is.
Tom, 2 minutes, so let me ask you another matter.
Maybe Hegseth was in the powder room.
Senator Baldwin asked you about the legal authority for the Marines in my state. I disagree with you. I thought not only do I not want Marines in Iran, I don't want them in California. But I don't want to get a gotcha. You know, they said, what provision? Your administration since then has filed in the federal district court. You're arguing that the Marines should be allowed to defend federal property. I disagree with you. That's your argument. Here's where I hope we can agree. Whatever the federal district court decides, will you abide by it?
Well, this is a pending situation.
So will you agree, though, that it's not my legal view, it's not your legal view that makes the decision in America. It's the federal judiciary. If the federal court in California and the San Francisco district judge orders a preliminary injunction, will you agree to abide by the federal courts?
How hard is that? Will you follow the Constitution? Yes or no? In our country, if the court rules, you abide by it. That's the rules. It's their check against the executive branch. So, very simply, not a hard question. If the court rules against you, will you follow their order?
I will tell you is my job right now is to ensure the troops that we have in Los Angeles are capable of supporting law enforcement in
Sir, I agree with that, but will you...
And we know
can
we
you
have the
just assure-
constitutional
I'm not
and
even-
statutory authority
That's fine, but can
to
you
do
just
that.
can you just assure us that you'll abide by the decisions of the courts?
We've
I mean,
always looked at the decisions of
Well, the vice president has said that he doesn't believe that the courts should be respected in military matters.
This is not my lane, but we also recognize that the way in which the judiciary has expanded its powers.
But can you
during
just
the
give a
Trump
simple?
administration
Okay,
is
let me
quite
ask you this:
clear.
two simple questions. You got 30 seconds. I'm not trying to trick you. I think it would assure the American people. Because it shouldn't be Ro Khanna's view of the Constitution, and it shouldn't be Secretary Hegseth's. It should be the Supreme Court and the federal courts. Can you assure the American people on two things? You will respect any Supreme Court decision on this matter about whether the Marines are constitutional, and you will respect the district courts when they rule before the Supreme Court rules.
What I can say is we should not have local judges determining foreign.
Isn't this crazy? Like I was going crazy listening to this. I couldn't believe it. Just the level that you have to get to of I don't give a fuck that Pete Hegseth's at right now. I would be most of us we're not capable of this. Most human beings are not capable of just sitting there making an absolute mockery of the system, embarrassing yourself, refusing to answer obvious questions. Most people aren't capable of this. Most people, this would it would hurt. It would be painful. Not Pete. Pete's like, I am here to answer no fucking questions. None whatsoever.
Court decision on this matter about whether the Marines are constitutional, and you will respect the district courts when they rule before the Supreme Court rules.
What I can say is we should not have local judges determining foreign policy or
I thought it wasn't your lane, you dipshit. You remember how 2 seconds ago he couldn't answer the question because it's not his lane? It's not really his role to determine what the law is. Suddenly it's his fucking lane. Suddenly it's his lane to tell you, oh, we shouldn't have the courts ruling. How quickly? Like, that was 40 seconds later.
When they rule before the Supreme Court rules.
What I can say is we should not have local judges determining foreign policy or national security policy for the country.
So you're not willing to say...
Oh, gotcha. So you're not willing, and he finishes off just say, so you're not willing to say that you will follow the orders of the courts. If you're us, just reverse this. If this was the Secretary of Defense under the Biden administration, you all would lose your shit, and rightfully so. And don't play whataboutism right now, because that's never happened before. Never in the history of our country that I can find has the Secretary of Defense been asked, will you follow the Constitution and abide by the court orders, and had the Secretary of Defense, who swore an oath to the Constitution, not to Donald Trump, an oath to the Constitution, say, I'm not going to answer that question. I won't answer whether or not I will abide by the Constitution. Now here's Sarah Jacobs. She kills him. Transphobes, get ready. You're going to lose it. This is a masterclass by Sarah Jacobs here.
As you probably know, today is National Women's Veterans Day. And in your confirmation hearing and in subsequent conversations, you've said, and I'm quoting you now, women in our military have and continue to make amazing contributions across all aspects of our battlefield, and that women were some of the best soldiers you served with. Do you still stand by those statements?
Yes.
Yes. Watch the YouTube chat losing their mind right now. Just screaming whataboutism. This is what it looks like when they don't have an answer. This is what a meltdown looks like. We got people threatening my life, coming at me. Whataboutism? What about Biden? Anything. They will do anything to not address reality. And I want to say to every single one of you who is playing whataboutism in the chat, would your mom be proud to know that they raised such a bitch? Would they be proud to know about you little bitch boys on the internet, grown adults on the internet? What about Joe Biden? I don't want to talk about this. You're an adult. You're an adult on the internet. And you were playing whataboutism in the comments because you can't explain why the Secretary of Defense won't answer a fucking question. And rather than address that and be a grown-up and be like, yeah, that's true, I voted for Trump, but I can acknowledge that guy, this is the third clip in a row that guy hasn't answered a question. He has a problem answering questions. Instead of doing that, instead of sitting with something that's happening right in front of your face, you run like little cowardly bitches and go, what about Joe Biden? That's all you do. And the reason that you have to do that is because there's actually not a defense. If you had a good defense, you wouldn't have to do whataboutism. If you could make an argument, you would make an argument, but you can't make an argument. So it's threats on me, it's mocking me, it's whataboutism. Everybody's tired of it. If we go in the public square, if you and I get up and we both are handed a microphone in the public square and we're talking to people who are trying to sift through true information, they're going to listen to me and they're going to laugh at you because you and your party are a fucking joke. You can't answer questions. You won't answer questions. This is the most bitch-made political party that has ever existed. And you back down every fucking time. Remember the taco trades? The reason that you guys all look like bitches is your leader is a bitch. He is a big, massive bitch. And he hired bitches. He hired a bitch like Pete Hegseth. He hired a bitch like Kash Patel. He hired a bitch like Dan Bongino. He surrounded himself with bitches like J.D. Vance. The whole fucking party is bitches, and that's why you all look like bitches. That's why none of you ever come up here and discuss this. That's why none of you have an answer for any of this shit. You're going to play whataboutism. And everybody on our side, it has become so predictable that it doesn't even make us mad anymore. You're getting laughed at. You're being mocked. You have come in here today with the dumbest assortment of arguments I've ever fucking heard. What about Joe Biden? What about January 6th? You should get more COVID boosters. Anything but answering the question. Anything but addressing the fact that Pete Hegseth is a little bitch. I don't want to address that. So we're going to play whataboutism all fucking day. You're a joke, and you all know. Every one of you that wants to talk shit, you all fucking know that in the court of public opinion, you get a mic, I get a mic, I win. And it's not because I'm smarter than you. And it's not because I'm better at talking. It's because I have an argument and you don't. You just have whiny bitch, titty milk feelings. That's it. You're emotional train wrecks. And every time you see something that's uncomfortable for you, you just fall the fuck apart. Your children, your toddlers, your titty milk boys, your bitch made. And that's why you don't have an argument, and that's why none of you ever show up here. And I hope to fucking God, one of you one time gets the balls to get a microphone and watch what happens. I hope to God one of you gets some balls and go and start your own stream and see how it goes for you. Nobody will listen to you because all you're going to do is bitch and moan, and that's it. Joe Biden, you'll be talking about Joe Biden 20 years from now because that's all you have. Just address reality, would you? Address the fact that this bitch won't answer a question. And now watch him get absolutely dog-walked by Sarah Jacobs here. Remember, just for a refresher, what she did is she read him a quote from his own quote where he said, women are an important part of this military and I respect them. And, by the way, he's made the claim like, I don't care. This isn't about gender. This is a meritocracy. This is about being prepared. This is about the military being a fighting force that's ready to go at all times, and we take accountability. And she's about to show him he doesn't give a fuck about accountability. And all of you, here's the prediction, just so we're here again, as soon as you guys figure out what she's talking about, all of you immediately are going to turn transphobic. Every one of you. Not one of you is going to address the fact that he's a fucking hypocrite when it comes to readiness. You're all just going to start thinking about penises. That's it. That's all you're going to do. You're going to genitals, and you're going to turn transphobic. Watch. Here's the prediction. They'll forget because they're dumb. So that's going to happen in like 3 minutes. They'll all forget, and they'll still react that way.
Great. Thank you. As you probably know, I represent San Diego, the biggest military community in the country, so I meet with countless service members all the time. And with your focus on emphasis and on merit and standards, I wanted to tell you about 3 incredible women in our military. So the first woman is a major responsible for advanced collective warfighting training. Her officer evaluation report rates her as most qualified. And some of the comments included are, and I'm quoting now, she lives the Army values and demonstrates the warrior ethos daily. She rates within the top 5% of officers I've encountered in 18 years of military service. The second woman is an aviator with a record of over 50 combat missions, including deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan. 2 quotes from her most recent fitness report in April include, quoting again, "People excel under her leadership, and she has my strongest possible recommendation for promotion."
Those all sound like pretty good, right? Top 5%. Their leadership, when they review them, they say they're great. They have my top recommendation. They're at the top of their field.
The third woman is an instructor for an Army ROTC battalion. According to her evaluation report, her overall performance was rated at far exceeds standards, and the comments include, she is undoubtedly within the top 5% of non-commissioned officers I've worked with in my 22 years of service. Given their stellar qualifications and accomplishments and their record of surpassing standards, I assume that you agree that the Pentagon and the services should do everything they can to retain women like these, correct?
I would commend the major, the aviator, and the instructor for their service.
Great.
He just might be sexist, right? Now, Pete Hegseth doesn't know yet right now. So what you're seeing from Pete Hegseth right now is that Pete Hegseth doesn't believe women should serve in the military at all, specifically in combat roles. But even in combat roles, like if you want to say on average that men are stronger than women, I don't care. I don't know if you have data on that. It sounds correct on average, whatever. But there are women who are stronger than men, and there are women who are capable of serving in combat roles, and there are men who are not capable of serving in combat roles. Like this idea that like I think some of you guys, like you kind of hold on to that. Like there's nothing like remarkable about you. You're not that strong. You're not that gifted. You're obviously dumb because you're saying the dumb shit in the chat here. And so you look at people who do like extraordinary things that also have a penis and you're like, yeah, that's my team. You're not on the team. You're a cheerleader. So shut the fuck up for a little bit. But these people are on the team, and these people are on the team and are sacrificing their lives and have served in multiple combat missions, and they have received literally like the highest remarks. And you're, for everybody here that, well, I don't want to spoil it. So anyways, all the Republicans in the chat, they're saying women shouldn't serve in the military here. So
I'm glad you agree, because I also believe we should be recruiting and retaining the very best and brightest in our country to serve in the military. And yet you are actually kicking out these 3 highly qualified service members solely because of their identity.
Did you know that all 3 of them were getting kicked out? All of their top of the top marks. This is going to get confusing for you Republicans in a second. It's going to get real fucking confusing, so hold on tight.
Are trans women. And you are using the very same arguments that have been...
All right, now we've got a problem. Because your argument for trans women that they can't play in sports is that they're men. Your argument just a second ago was that only men should serve in combat roles, not women. So now you've got a problem, don't you? Now you've got a real problem, because in your mind, these are men, which is who you want. And they are scoring in the top 5%. That means 95% of the rest of the military scores below them. So now you've just said that it's not really about sexism, it's about ability. And these women are in the top 5%, and you believe that they are men. And that's the very physical advantage that you were just talking about. All of you were just talking about that physical advantage. So now what's the problem? What's the problem here?
Used against desegregating the military or allowing women to serve or allowing gay people to serve. And in all those cases, those arguments were wrong. So I think it's clear that this is actually not about standards or, and I'm quoting you again, an equal, unwavering, gender-neutral, merit-based system, because if it were, you would be keeping these women in. Instead,
top 5%. How's it a meritocracy? How's it gender blind here? Top 5%. These are performance reviews, by the way. Performance. So this is for anybody who wants to be like, gender dysphoria is a mental condition. Well, they seem to be able to do it because they're in the top 5%. What does that say about again, now you've got more problems. Not only are you confused because you just a second ago you said it wasn't about gender, it was about physical prowess. Now we've got people physically able to do the job, and they're in the top 5%. So now we've got even a bigger problem, because you're like, well, if you're going to get rid of these people, what about the 95% below them? If they don't have this mental condition that you're afraid of, how is it that without this mental condition, they're in the bottom 95%? Why didn't they make it into the top 5%? See, the issue that we're running into, this isn't about meritocracy. It never has been about meritocracy. It's about a Christian white nationalist, Pete Hegseth, who's dumb as a box of rocks, and it is just a bigot.
You are the one injecting culture wars into the military, and it's at the detriment of our military readiness and national security. Now, General Kane, I'd like to turn to you.
So to be clear, these are men who think they're women.
These are women. I'm happy to educate you on
but these are men,
on trans
and so
issues at another
what we've
time.
identified is that there's mental health issues with that belief system.
I'd like to turn to General
are
Kane
detrimental
now.
to readiness, and that's the.
Well, then how'd they get in the top 5% there, Petey Pablo? How'd that happen, Whiskey Pete? You got a problem in your fucking military if people are not able to serve with this mental condition, and they outperform 95% of your soldiers. Now we got a real fucking problem, Pete. Your best soldiers can't outperform them, but they've got this mental condition that makes them unable to serve. Uh-oh. We got a problem, Pete.
Determination that we've made and that we stand behind. Gender dysphoria.
And so you don't
complications.
trust your commanding officers to be able to evaluate the people under them to decide if that were true, wouldn't that show up in their fit reps? And yet these fit reps are from the last 3 months, and all of their commanding officers say that they exceed standards. I'm turning to General Kane now.
Yeah. Pete got destroyed there. It got real quiet in here, guys. The Republicans got real quiet. And they had to get quiet because we predicted their response and we threw them a fucking loop. We threw them for a loop. In real time, you just watched Republicans go from we're not sexist. It's about ability to, this thing that we're against, this ideology that we're against, this woke ideology somehow is outperforming 95% of our troops. That's a fucked up position you just found yourself in, isn't it, Republicans? That's a tough one. What do we do now? Even Pete just sat back. He was like, fuck. He didn't see it coming. That was unbelievable by Sarah Jacobs. San Diego should be proud. Where's Court? Is Court here? And the whole family, you guys should be proud. San Diegans today. She was incredible. Then here is Congressman Carbajal, who has absolutely no time for Pete Hegseth's bullshit. And I think fairly is incredibly disrespectful to Pete Hegseth, and I think it's warranted. I don't give a shit. I called him a bitch earlier, so what am I going to say?
Secretary, do you think the United States should continue supporting Ukraine in its fight against Russia, a nation that is hostile towards the United States?
Well, as you know, sir, President Trump is committed to peace.
No, I just want yes or no.
Immediately. Oh, I got to suck Trump's dick real quick. Hold on. Hey, what's your opinion? My opinion is that I need to suck Trump's dick because it's been 3 minutes since I sucked Trump's dick.
Answers.
Today, the United States has spent billions of dollars.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Over years.
Just yes or no. Can I get a yes or no out of you?
We continue to send.
Come on.
Presidential drawdown.
It's that easy. Kindergartners could give me a yes or no. Yes or no.
Yes, we support peace in Ukraine.
He's such a slimy little bitch. Just the bitchiest of bitches. No ability to answer a question. Why do we have such a fucking coward running our military here?
Come on. Is this really leadership? You're an embarrassment to the United States. If Russia invades NATO allies, are you going to recommend to the president that we fulfill our Article 5 obligations?
Now, the Article 5 obligations that he's talking about is our agreement with NATO that basically says an attack on one is attack on all. We've all agreed that if somebody attacks a NATO nation, that we're all in the fight together. That's what he's talking about. We have an agreement, and now he's just saying, like, hey, if Russia attacks our NATO allies, are we going to stand with our NATO allies?
Fulfill our Article 5 obligations?
Well, Russia has not invaded NATO allies.
No.
President Trump.
No. That's why I said if, you dipshit. This guy went to I think, what did he say, Yale. I think Hegseth went to Yale. He's not as dumb as he comes off. He's just a bitch.
No. I reclaim my time. Yes or no? It's that simple.
There's Article 5 in NATO, which we recognize.
So is the answer yes or no?
That's what Article 5 is, yes.
It is so fucking embarrassing. Like, he knows what the question is. He's just running from every fucking question. He's such a bitch. And anybody defending this, like, you're a bitch. Sorry, you're just a bitch if you defend this. I love when the Secretary of Defense doesn't answer any questions. I'm tired of our government being transparent. They need to hide more things from us. We can't handle the truth.
Good. I'm glad you brought yourself to saying yes. Do you think political allegiance to Trump...
Oh, you went to Princeton, not Yale? Thank you. Appreciate it.
...is a requirement for serving our nation, either in uniform or a civilian in the department?
I'm incredibly proud. There are millions of Americans...
No. Not...
Bitch again! What are we doing here? No questions. This is like 20 minutes worth of him being asked questions, not just running. Oh, I don't want to answer that.
Not today, Hegseth. Yes or no?
Congressman, you know what a silly question that is.
But it's silly enough to warrant a very straightforward answer. Yes or no?
We all support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
You know what? I'm not going to waste my time anymore. You're not worthy of my attention or my questions. You're an embarrassment to this country. Yeah. You're unfit to lead, and there's been bipartisan members of Congress that have called for your resignation. You should just get the hell out and let somebody competently lead this department.
Mr. Chairman, do we not have any decorum in here?
Then the Republican got it. Hey, he said a mean thing. Mr. Chairman, he said that he's incompetent. Yeah, have you ever heard a hearing before? What the fuck are we talking about? The Republicans are the most thin-skinned little bitches. You guys you'll literally spend your whole party was fuck Joe Biden forever. You guys made up lies about him forever. You guys criticize everybody at every hearing, but the one time somebody points out that Pete Hegseth, who can't answer a question, is like an embarrassment. Do we not have any decorum? No, we don't. No, we don't have decorum. We lost decorum a long time ago. I'd like to also say, for the record, fuck decorum. I actually really hate that some of these, in some of these hearings, they have rules where you can't talk shit. Talk shit. Talk shit. Because the thing about shit talk is that if you're bad at it, you look worse. And if your shit talk is like the people that come in here like, you should get another booster, you're going to look like an idiot. Let Republicans talk shit. The more they talk, the dumber they look. And that includes Pete Hegseth. The thing about Pete Hegseth that is maybe most frustrating is that he knows what he's doing. He's just a coward. And all of them are. And frankly, anybody still supporting this administration, you're just, I think you're probably too afraid to admit that you were wrong. Here's more Hegseth. Here he is with, I forget Representative Crow, where he's from. If anybody knows, I forgot to write it down. Here's Representative Crow. Again, we're just going to ask Pete real simple questions, and Pete's not going to answer.
A coin instructor, a counterinsurgency instructor, correct?
In Afghanistan in 2011 and 2012, I was the senior counterinsurgency instructor.
And you signed off on a manual. There's actually a counterinsurgency manual that you signed off on and helped create. And your name is on that manual, correct?
We were a part of creating a lot of content at the Coin Academy, yes.
Do you remember this portion of the manual? It says, if you've killed two innocents, you've set yourself back more than you've moved forward. Do you still agree with that?
Colorado, thanks, guys.
I would have to take a look at the manual, but obviously no one in warfare is seeking to kill innocents.
Okay. Because it's important to show why we're different from the enemy. Because we're not the enemy, right? We're different from our adversary. Would you agree with that? We have different morals and different values.
We are not the enemy, sir.
We have different morals.
Like at this point, he's just doing, no matter what, he's just not going to answer a question. Just no matter what.
And we have different values than the enemy.
We have a code, a uniform code of military justice.
So the answer to that is
our
yes.
Formations that
You're not trying to compare us to Al-Qaeda and ISIS, are you? We're different.
I know the code of the United States military and army that I signed up for.
You can't tell me whether we're different?
Right hand.
You're not willing to say we're different?
Of course we're different.
Okay, thank you.
It's absurd.
That's why I'm...
Yeah, it's absurd that you won't answer the question. Why is he upset about that question right now? Are we different than Al-Qaeda? Yeah, just say yes. Who the fuck who the fuck ignores that question? He's trying to set a baseline. Are we different than Al-Qaeda? What a crazy question. We'll just say yes or no. It'd be fine.
Trying to reconcile the fact that we learned many of the same lessons as platoon leaders about unit cohesion, making sure that people were included, that we didn't ask people's political affiliation, that we interacted respectfully with civilian populations, that what a leader says matters, that the tone you set matters, that we are not the enemy, that we are different from them, we lead differently, we have different morals. How can I reconcile that experience and those lessons learned from Lieutenant Hegseth to now Secretary Hegseth, where you say things like what you just saw here, making us equivalent on the same standards as our adversaries, doing the same things that ISIS...
Why does he have to answer? This is the problem with MAGA. Why does he have to answer to Crow? Because they have oversight. Because that's how our Constitution works. Because they are required to come before Congress and answer questions. Why are you such a cucky little bitch? Why are you upset that they're asking people questions? Because you don't know what the fuck's going on? Are you too confused by this? It's just that your buddy Pete Hegseth looks bad right now, so you're having big feelings about that? Why? That's the Republican response now? Why should they have to answer to anybody? Because it's their fucking job to answer to people. Okay, that's why. Because that's how democracy works. Don't be a cuck. be better.
An Al-Qaeda would do. How can you possibly reconcile that? I can't. And
yeah, we can't. Now, we sound exactly like Al-Qaeda. Look at this. Look what he said. This is what you expect out of Al-Qaeda. What would that not be an incentive for the other side to reconsider barbarism? Hey, Al-Qaeda, if you surrender, we might spare your life. If you do not, we will rip your arms off and feed them to hogs. This is like that one-upsmanship. This is called toxic masculinity. That's what this is. And it's called toxic masculinity because it's toxic. It's toxic to peace. It's toxic to progress. It's toxic to war. This type of shit always breeds more toxicity. That's the whole point of this. That's why when you put up an alpha male, which doesn't exist, as Secretary of Defense, this is what you have. What an alpha male really is somebody who just is not accountable. They think alpha male is I do whatever the fuck I want. That's alpha male, and that opens you up to following a narcissist, to following a psychopath. Pete Hegseth, if we remember, has a stated goal to kill all Muslims, not kill all enemy combatants, not kill all people who attack American citizens, kill all Muslims. That's his stated goal. He's just a sick, violent fuck. Hey, Jen. Good timing.
Hey. Yeah. It took a while, but we have opposition. We have Lilo's discovery.
All right, I'll give him like 20 minutes, and then I'll stay extra for Friendly Friday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to remind everybody, since I'm here, that while we're doing this, we still want to make sure. I think we made more of a dent in the goal, but we still want to try to knock out that before we wrap up. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so.
Thank you, Jen. Let's see. Go there. Is it Lilo or is it Lilo? Lilo, you there?
Oh, hello.
There you are. Is it Lilo or Lilo?
It's Lilo.
Lilo, welcome. What's on your mind?
Yeah, hey man, what's up? First and foremost, I do want to say, I'm sorry about calling you a tool or whatever. It's basically just a way to get some attention, throw you a little dough.
Oh, that's fine.
You know.
Yeah, no problem. That's one of the nicer things people call me. That's not too bad.
Well, I mean, we have disagreements in this country, right?
Sure.
We don't have to step on each other's throats. I think the true American spirit would actually come out if a flood was happening right down your street, and what are you gonna do? Not save that family or that kid over there or whatever? You're gonna ask them first, they Democrat, Republican? I don't think so.
Sure.
So I mean, I think we're all actually a little bit closer to each other than we think, and we've allowed basically both of these parties to rip us apart and get under our skin, but at the same time, honestly, it's opened up some good channels for people to make some dough off of it and everything. And in my opinion,
is that what you're saying? Is that what you're trying to say? Like this just opened up like a channel for me to make money? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, you obviously have a good mind of what you want to do and how to make your living, how to express yourself and your opinion.
Sure.
And that's great. I disagree with some of the things that you're saying.
All right, let's get to those things. Yeah, let's get to because we're limited on time. Let's get to the parts that you disagree with.
For sure. So I mean, you were talking about money, budgets, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Democrat versus red state, blue states, or whatever.
Sure.
I mean, honestly, there are no blue states at all. There's just blue cities. I mean, I live in the state of Washington. I've lived here since 2002.
Okay.
I lived on Capitol Hill in Seattle for 15 years and watched it go to garbage.
Why did it go to garbage?
It's garbage. In 2020, Washington State has an $11.5 billion surplus. In 2025, we have I believe it's 12 or 13 billion dollar deficit.
Yeah, you guys sold sold Seattle to Amazon, and then Amazon took their profits and went somewhere else once they could. You sold all of all of downtown Seattle. You just handed over to Amazon, and then they're just like, "Fuck you," and they got out of there. That's what happens when. That's what happens when you sell. That's what happens when you sell out. That's what happens when you sell. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Hey,
Excuse me.
thanks for selling
Excuse me.
it to us.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Just wait till I'm done. That's what happens when you sell out
Yeah,
your city
okay,
for tax breaks. That's what happens.
Okay. So, but you do understand who did that, right?
The government.
I mean, it's just Democrats.
Sure.
But the government of this state is nonstop, 100%. It's all Democrat.
You just said it wasn't a blue
There-
state.
there- there are
What are you
more
talking
of
about? I
the-
lived in
I
Washington.
believe
You're going to
it's-
tell me Spokane. I lived in Spokane. You're going to tell me that's not red? It's not deep red? I lived in Moses Lake. That was deeply red. I lived in Clarkston. That's deeply red. There's red spots all
and
over your state. And how's Spokane doing?
How much of influence did any of those places have on things that happen amongst the state?
Wait, how much what influence?
How much influence?
Well, it's
That's right.
not as much.
No, it's basically none.
Well, what's your point? You guys also
Seattle and King County.
Okay, what's
the
your point?
corridor of I-5
Excuse me, what's your point?
My point is that you keep talking about money, budgets, and everything like that as if Democrats are the good ones doing it and Republicans are.
I think states that are. I think Democrat-run states tend to do better than Republican-run states, and I cited specific instances of how I'm gauging that. I cited education. I cited. I'm trying to remember exactly everything I said. I think I said education. They pay. What's that?
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to go through everything that you recited.
Okay, well, that's all I'm saying.
I understand that you have cited things. It's just it doesn't make any sense when you're citing things that don't take into context that there's only Democrats running cities, not states.
What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? Of course,
What am I talking about?
You don't have a state you don't have a state legislature.
66 out of the top 100 cities are run by Democrats.
Okay, but I was talking about
all in pieces of garbage.
That's because that's where all the people are. All the people are in big cities. That's how population works.
Okay, so population works like this. Hey, everybody, let's go over there and make some money. Guess what? We can't be here like making money. Let's go ahead and be broke, drug dealing.
Bro, what the fuck are you, bro? Honest to God, what the fuck are you talking about? I have no clue what you're saying right now. What are you talking about?
It's you have this. You're trying to tell people that states that are run by Republicans are somehow like more poor off.
They are.
But what
they
you're
are.
trying to do
They
also-
are. The bottom ranked, the bottom 10 states for education are all red states.
Great. And how much
Not. I would say.
along
I would
are-
say not great.
are
I
the
would say
Democratic states?
not great.
No. What I'm trying to do is say, great, you have a point.
And the top 10 are all blue states.
Do you have any like statistics around how much further they are or how much they are gaining versus losing?
Gaining what?
Because in this state,
Gaining
in the
what?
state
Wait,
of
hold on.
Washington-
Shush. Gaining what?
You know, that's what I mean by like your.
Bro, I
you
don't know,
your
bro. I
platform
don't know what
is
you're
like-
talking about. I'm asking you to explain
No,
what you're
but
talking
this is
about.
what I'm saying is like you get to get on here and you get to yell and scream. It's your platform.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you what you're talking about.
Honestly, bro.
Are you
if
crashing
you
out
were in
over
front of
this?
me, there is no way possible that you would ever just be like shush.
Yes, I would.
That's what you do to little. That's what you do to little babies.
Dude, you're crashing out right now. I'm just asking you what you meant by gaining.
No.
What did you mean when you said gaining?
You are gaining this system by just basically being able to come on here and act.
No.
as if
You
you are smart.
no. You said red states are gaining. Gaining what?
I tried to.
Well, you got a
I
lot of
tried to
feelings.
start
You got a
this
lot of big.
conversation
You've
with
got a lot of
you.
big feelings right
I
now.
tried.
I'm just asking.
with you.
Shush.
and
Shush.
Tried to be nice
Shush.
to you.
Shush.
And tried.
Shush.
Yes,
Shush.
exactly.
Shush. Okay.
Shush
Shush.
That's
Calm down.
all that's
Calm.
all you got. That's all you
Bro,
got.
you're crashing out right now.
I mean, honestly, okay, cool.
Okay, do you want to
Okay, cool.
answer
I
the
mean,
question or do you want to
honestly,
keep talking about your feelings some more?
that okay.
You want to talk about your feelings
Why
more?
don't we just get back to the point?
I'm trying to, but you keep
Why
talking
don't
about
we
your
just-
feelings. When you said red states are gaining, what did you mean by that?
What I'm asking is, how much are they gaining in their perspective statistics? So let's say that
Gaining
they
what?
were
I
at
can't
40%.
quantify if I don't know what you're talking about. How much
You
are they
asked me-
gaining
you
in
asked me
what?
You asked me to be quiet, and I do.
I'm
but
asking you a question.
You can't do it.
About gaining
and I'm
what?
trying to answer it.
All right, go ahead.
I literally am trying to answer
Okay,
it, and
go
you
ahead.
will not let me answer.
Calm down. Go ahead. Go ahead. Gaining what?
Cool. So if a student or a body of students in a state is reading at 40%, what is the gain over year, the next year of how they are reading the next time? So what you have is like states like Mississippi and Louisiana.
Are you asking? Sorry, wait.
they're
Are you
actually
asking like who's
gaining much
improved? Are you saying who's improving the most? Is that what you're saying?
That's right. That's right. So who is improving more than the other? So
What?
essentially, you have states like Washington.
Bro.
Do you want to know what the state of Washington said in? And we're talking about the president of the teachers union here in the state says in 2020, well, if every kid is falling behind, then no kids are falling behind. Literally telling everybody, well, if your kid's dumber today, all those other kids are dumber today, then nobody's really dumber. They're all just, kind of average to each other.
What are you talking?
That's
What
a
are you
direct
talking
quote.
about? What the fuck are you talking about,
You
man?
asked me about education.
This is crazy. This is.
You just asked me about how.
No, we were talking about like biggest gains, and then you quoted somebody I don't know. Are we going to talk about numbers or just? I have no clue what you're talking about. Honestly, man, this is crazy.
Okay, so I mean, okay, if you want specifics, what specifics do you want from me?
I don't even know what you're talking about. You said like gaining. You said which states are gaining, and then I asked like, are you saying like which states, like did their scores go up the most? Is that what you're asking?
That's exactly it. Like,
Okay, so which states are the scores
better
going?
in a lot of these-
So which states are gaining the fastest?
But we're talking about education now, and I mean, honestly,
Oh my God, are you gonna run? Wait, as soon as I ask for a detail, are you gonna switch
money and
subjects?
budgets.
Wait, which states are gaining?
No. It's cool. It's cool. If you want to say on education, let's do it. That's fine.
Please. Which states?
I've got a little girl.
Which
right
states?
now,
Which states are gaining the
and,
most,
basically,
brother? I
like-
don't need 50 more fucking stories. Which states are gaining the most? Good Lord.
So I mean, honestly, so you're looking at like Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama. I think were all in the top like 5
Of what?
of year over year of kids being able to be proficient in reading, math, things. The R's. They're doing better.
They're
year over year.
Mississippi is in the
and-
bottom 10 in the country for education. They can only improve.
Yeah,
it would be damn near impossible for them to get worse.
That's right. I mean, we
Brother,
can
do you
only
understand?
improve. I
this
mean,
is like if you were watching.
Well, I
If
mean,
you be quiet, please.
is
Be
it
quiet,
good
please. Be
education?
quiet, please. It's my turn. This is like if you were watching sports, like let's say the NBA season this year, and you were like, well, the Chicago Bulls are actually better than the Oklahoma City Thunder because the first half of the season, they were losing games by an average of 30 points. And now they're only losing games by an average of 20 points. And the Thunder are winning 80% of their games. So that actually, if you look at it, Chicago's really the better team. Do you understand what you're saying? Like, you're trying to make an argument for why your schools are at the bottom 10%. Here's the truth. Your schools are the worst because you guys don't fund schools. And you try and shove the Bible into school. And you try and privatize school. I live in Arizona. We're ranked 50th. We are the school. We are the test state for charter schools, for school choice. And ever since we introduced Republican legislation for school choice, it has exploded our deficit, and we went from like low 40s to dead fucking last. And then Oklahoma was like, maybe we should try that too. And they went from mid 30s to 49th, and now they're at 47. All of your schools suck because you guys don't take care of anybody. Republican states hand out money to billionaires, and they don't take care of their constituents, and they're mostly welfare states. So when it comes time to give SNAP benefits and Medicare benefits, they take more than they give. Red states are welfare states, and you guys have the audacity to look at blue states and criticize blue states like they're poorly run. You guys wouldn't exist if you didn't get handouts from blue states. That's the point. You guys in red states, they need to tax people appropriately. They need to stop giving all the tax breaks to the rich, and they need to give tax. They need to tax them at a higher rate to pay for things like education and healthcare, so blue states don't have to keep subsidizing you.
Okay, so cool. So all of the welfare states need to tax all of the.
They need to tax the rich people in their states so that blue states don't have to keep paying their bills for them.
You do understand that no state is paying any other state's bills, right?
Brother, this is how this works. You send money to the federal government. It's called federal taxes. And then the federal government disperses that money. And states like California send more money to the federal government than they get back. And states like Mississippi receive more money than they send. This is not that complicated.
Yeah, except for the fact that none of that money is actually derived by taxes. It's all just debt.
Where else would the government get money from?
Debt. It's just debt, bro.
Where else does the government
it's just
get?
Debt.
No, it's not debt.
Oh, okay. So we're only 37 trillion in debt because of, and I'm not blaming Democrats or Republicans. I'm blaming both of them.
There's a problem that you don't understand. I know you're blaming both of them because you don't want to blame just Republicans, but here's the reality. Social Security is paid for. Medicare is paid for. It's a direct tax that comes directly from a paycheck into the system. Those taxes are actually funded. It's all the other spending. It's the military spending. It's the tax cuts for billionaires. Those things aren't paid for.
The tax cuts are not spending. You keep saying this.
I didn't say it's spending. I did not say it's
like
spending.
Not collecting is some form of spending.
Let me help you. Let me help you understand. I didn't call it spending.
Okay. All right. Go for it.
Cool. The government gets all of their money from taxes. So if you bring in less revenue, if you cut taxes, you have less money to spend. But then if you don't cut spending and you raise spending, now you have less money paying for more spending and you have to go into debt. And what Republicans have done in both the Bush tax cuts, the Trump tax cuts, and now these projected tax cuts is they increase spending while decreasing taxes. And so it explodes the deficit. It makes the deficit get bigger. It makes the debt get bigger, faster. Under Democrats, the debt does not rise as fast. In fact, usually deficit spending gets closer to zero. But under Republicans, it always gets further away from zero. Because what they have taught you and what they've conditioned you is that taxation is theft and you can't tax people appropriately. So they just put out a bill like they are right now that's going to increase the deficit, and they tell you that they care about the deficit, and you're up here arguing about the deficit, and it's your fucking party who consistently explodes the deficit. 54% of our debt came from the Bush tax cuts and the Trump tax cuts. 54% came from two presidents, and they were both tax cuts.
Okay, great. So, I mean, honestly,
I'd say not great. I would say bad.
You're still trying to say that not collecting is the same as spending.
No, I'm not, you dipshit. No, I'm not. I just explained it to you. Let me try again. The tax revenue is the money you bring in to pay for your spending. So if you bring in less money and you spend more, there is a gap that you have to fill in, right? Right?
Sure.
Okay. So am I saying it's
Who
Excuse me. I will let you listen. I will let you respond. Hey, I know you want to change the subject right now, but I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be fucking
Surplus
quiet, you
on
child.
11.5
Shut the fuck
Cool.
up, you
Go ahead.
little tiny
Okay, go ahead.
bitch.
Go ahead. I mean,
I
I've
am
never
not
told you or
saying
said
I am not saying that tax
You're-
revenue is spending.
Do you
I
want
am
me to
saying
just,
that
like,
tax
get down on
revenue.
your
I am
level?
saying that tax revenue is tax revenue and spending is spending, and you're too goddamn dumb to figure that out. So now go ahead and do your whataboutism.
Oh, I'm not doing any whataboutism.
That's what you were
I'm gonna
just
do
doing.
is-
You were just going to say, well, who's been in office the last 12 years? That's what you were about to say, right?
That was my first, but I.
Oh, yeah. Whataboutism, right?
No, I immediately went away from that.
No, you didn't. You shouted over me, and I had to tell you to shut the fuck up, and then you finally did.
And I wanted to give you a specific example.
Give it to me.
So why is it so great? Why is it that Washington State, a Democratic, completely and totally pretty much run by Democrats, why is it that we went from 11.5 billion surplus 4 years ago to now a $12 billion deficit?
Because you spent more than you took in, because you sold your entire Seattle sold basically or gave away basically the whole downtown to Amazon, and then and you guys gave massive tax break. Not in the middle of my sentence. Not in the middle of my sentence. Yes, it was a Democrat. Yes, and they did Republican things. They gave tax breaks to massive corporations like Boeing and Amazon, and those never pay off. Those tax breaks, those tax cuts that you give to corporations, guess what they always do? They turn you around and they fuck you in the ass. And Seattle and the state of Washington, even though it was run by Democrats, found out the hard way that when you run a state like Republicans, you get fucked in the ass. So you shouldn't run states like Republicans. But they did it because they were afraid they were going to lose Boeing and Amazon, because these Republican states are telling Boeing and Amazon, hey, come here, we'll give you a tax break. And so they thought, well, I guess we'll give them this tax break. And they found out that they should have just let Boeing and Amazon leave, and you would have been in a better position. But you got down on your knees for massive corporations, just like Texas is doing right now, just like Idaho's doing right now, just like Utah's doing right now, just like Tennessee's doing right now. And you're finding out very fast in all of those red states that it explodes your budget. It fucks up your deficit. Utah had the same problem. Utah had a balanced budget, and now they're struggling. Now they're trying to figure out if they're going to raise taxes. But everybody in Utah's a Republican. They're like, you can't raise taxes. Oh, it's all these liberals that came here, and now they want to raise taxes. No, it's not. It's because you guys get on your knees for corporations, and you give them a bunch of handouts. That's what happened in Washington. So yes, that was Democrats. But they were, and I don't like Democrats either. But if Democrats act like Republicans, they fuck up their state.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
I was a Republican, bud, for a long time.
Hey, man, I mean, honestly, that's reasonable for you to say. Like, okay, cool. And like, now you're saying that, like, you know, basically big money is big money. I mean, you've just admitted basically that, like, this isn't about any Democrats or Republicans. This is just about money.
No, it's about
This has nothing to do with
it is about Democrats or Republicans. It's not about big money.
No, it's
It's
not.
about taxing people appropriately. And Republicans never tax people appropriately. And Democrats a lot of times don't either, but some Democrats do, and no Republicans ever do. I think most of the Democratic Party, I think the Joe Bidens, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Chuck Schumers of the world, I don't think they're that different than the Republicans. They just like also, they're just not like as bigoted. So they stand on that, but they're still going to give corporate handouts to massive corporations. I'm not in favor of that. I'm more of a Bernie Sanders type. I don't think they need massive handouts. But what the Democrats don't do is they don't come in and cut things like SNAP and Medicare and Medicaid while giving a handout to billionaires. What your party has chosen to do is take money out of that was projected to come in through tax revenue that was going to go to spend on people who desperately need health care and food. And instead of giving that money to people who need health care and food, they just said, you know what, big banks, you know what, big businesses, why don't you guys just keep that money instead? I know we were going to get it and we were going to pay for stuff, but instead, why don't you just keep all of that money? And they cut out all these loopholes for these massive corporations. And that's why we're fucked. That's why we're in debt. Have you ever looked at the debt? When did our debt accelerate? When did our debt accelerate? When did it start
I think
accelerating?
It was in 1980-ish.
82.
It was around
82. And what happened? What was introduced in 1982?
No, I mean, for sure.
What
I mean, Bush
economic structure was introduced in 1982? Trickle down economics, right?
Okay, I mean,
and ever since then, because Americans are selfish and they are nearsighted and they rarely think about things for any amount of time in the future. Ever since 1982, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican at the helm, and whether it's Democrats or Republicans in charge of Congress, they have all been participating in trickle-down economics. Our taxes are too low in this country, or our spending is too high, or both. But what we never do, what Democrats try to do, is Democrats try to balance it. They try and bring in as much as they spend, and they're much better at that than Republicans. Republicans don't give a fuck. Republicans outspend Democrats while cutting revenue. And for 50 years, they've told, and for 50 years, they've been running on fiscal responsibility, and they are the least fiscally responsible party in the history of our country.
But honestly, like, there hasn't been a balanced budget since Bush in what, 2001?
It was Clinton. It was under Clinton.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, Clinton definitely had. He had a. But I think that there's a little bit of like, hey, you know what? We went through this like incredible technological boom during Clinton, and I'm not.
We didn't tax people appropriately, did we? We had this huge economic boom. We didn't tax people appropriately. We had the .com. We had the housing. It turned into a housing crisis, but the housing boom. Now we've got the tech boom, and we never tax appropriately, do we?
Well, I don't know. You know, I mean,
you don't know. You don't
honestly,
know. We got 37 trillion in debt that says we don't.
No, but that refers to spending more. It doesn't really refer to how much you bring in.
Listen, dude. Listen. Do you have a job? Do you have a job? Do you have a job?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say that you make $80,000 a year. Okay. Let's just say for right now you make $80,000 a year, and you spend $100,000 a year. You have a spending problem, right?
That's right.
Now, let's say next year you take a pay decrease and you make $60,000 a year, and you spend $100,000 a year. Are you fiscally more irresponsible the second year?
Yes.
Right.
You know,
so if somebody would say like hold on, just hear me out. Just hear me out. The idea would be if you spend $100,000 and you make $80,000, you have two options. You can spend less, or you can bring in more money. The government, the way you get money is by working a job. The way the government gets money is through tax revenue. So if the government is going to refuse to cut spending, then they have to increase tax revenue. They go together. It's not a spending or tax issue. It's both. You have to balance that out, and it's very simple. And politicians love to pretend that it is not simple. It's very fucking simple. If you're going to increase spending, you have to increase taxes. If you're going to decrease spending, then maybe you can decrease taxes. But Republicans always increase spending while decreasing taxes. It's the dumbest fucking thing. It's like you saying like, I'm $20,000 in debt this year. How about go to your boss? You're like, you know what? Cut my pay by $20,000. So next year I'll be in debt $40,000. It's just stupid. It's just basic math, dude.
I would, yeah, man. Honestly, I'd love to have like a little spreadsheet in front of me or something like that to see like how much was collected in taxes 2017 through 2020-ish. To how much was collected in 2000.
Look, we're out of time, but we're out of time. But do this: when you get off, just go look. Pick a state. Look at tax revenue versus spending. Every state has that. You'll be able to look. Did they spend more than they brought in? That's what a deficit is. When you talk about deficit spending or debt, it's all it is that they spent more than they brought in. And so there's only two solutions if you spent more than you brought in. Either decrease spending or increase taxes, or somewhere in between, like you slightly decrease spending and slightly increase taxes. Whatever it is, you have to narrow that gap. So deficit spending is always the difference between what you brought in, which is taxes, versus what you spent. So if there's ever a deficit,
Okay.
then you have to either lower spending or increase taxes. That's the only way to fix it.
Okay, well, hey, I tell you what, I appreciate your time, and but I do want to say, like, then that doesn't make any sense as far as like your Republican versus Democrat thing when it comes to Washington State, which I live in. I don't live in Mississippi. I was referencing that, but I appreciate your time.
Yeah, brother.
But I would also appreciate if I were ever get to talk to somebody like you again, to not shush me,
Oh,
not
dude,
call me a little
listen,
bitch,
toughen up. Toughen the
all those
no,
things
toughen
are
up.
very, like,
Toughen up. Toughen the fuck up. Honestly, I'm so toughen up, dude. Did you vote for Trump?
It's just that this is
No.
the
Did you
reason
vote
that
for
your
Trump?
party is-
Did you vote for Trump?
It's dead.
Please answer the question.
dead.
Did you vote for Trump?
Oh, no. I did not vote for Trump, and I have never voted.
Okay, who'd you vote for?
I voted this year. I voted for a friend, Steve Wiley.
Okay. All right.
I'm in a Democratic state. There's no way we're in the electoral college. Like I'm
All
smart
right.
enough
Well,
to know that my vote.
cool. I'm still gonna talk shit. It's what I do. If you don't like that, you can talk to somebody else. I am gonna talk shit. I'm gonna call balls and strikes. Donald Trump does it. I didn't. You've been in here complaining all day. I hope you have that same energy for Donald Trump. I hope that you spend whenever you hear him talk. I hope you're in the comments being like, "Don't call names." I just hope that you hold that same energy. It's fine. We have a difference of opinion. I think shit talk is fine, but I just hope you hold that same energy when Republicans are talking shit too. That's all I'll say.
You're not really talking shit. You're demoralizing people.
Well, and you're being kind of a little. You're just being a little bit of a. You're kind of being a little bit of a bitch right now. Like I.
Well, you know,
So
you're
you're
being a bitch
you're
too,
in your
motherfucker.
feelings.
You're being a little bitch, just like little bitches.
Are we calling names now?
Oh, now I mean, you know, this is what
Yeah.
you're gonna do. You're gonna say that, like, oh, now I'm doing it to you.
No, I
And-
don't
and it's
care.
like,
No,
what
I
do you
don't.
want
No,
me to
I
do?
don't care.
You want me to shit talk?
No,
or do
I
you not
don't.
want me to shit
I want
talk?
you. I want you to
bitch?
shit talk. I want you to shit talk. I don't care because I'm not a bitch.
Good. I mean, if that was the actual thing that you
I'm
wanted me to do, I
I'm
guess we
smiling.
could've done that.
I'm smiling right now. I see how I'm not
Well, why
hysterical.
did you
See how
think
I'm not
being called a
hysterical.
bitch is
See how I'm
different
not
than me being
hysterical
called a-
right now. Do you see how I'm not
That's the-
hysterical
that's
right
the
now?
definition of an immature little
Let it
motherfucking
go.
bitch.
Let it go.
Yeah. Goodbye,
Yeah.
bro.
Have a good one, bud.
I tell you what. You hang up.
I thought you
before
were
me.
leaving. Oh,
I tell
you
what,
hang up. You hang up first.
No,
No,
I'm
you
gonna
hang up.
Let's
No,
do
you
this.
hang up. I'm not saying. I'm not saying goodbye first. You say goodbye first.
No, I'm good. I got all day.
You
I can
do?
sit here all day. If that's all you wanted was somebody to come onto your show
Shush.
and start talking
Shush.
shit, and
Shush.
acting like little babies, fucking calling each
Hush,
other
little
bitches,
baby,
then
don't say a
that's
word.
what I could do.
Daddy's
See,
gonna
now
buy
you're doing
you a
all, like,
mockingbird. And if that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's gonna
this is
buy
why
you
the
a diamond ring.
the
And
Democrats
if that diamond ring don't shine, Mama's gonna get you some turpentine. Oh, there he goes. He finally left. All right, guys, it's Friendly Friday. Hop in the VC if you want to do Friendly Friday. Hi, Jed.
Well,
I'm
I
hearing
mean-
feedback there.
I'll be the one that says it. He owned you. I
He
mean,
got me.
how that
He got me. First pops and now this. I'm getting killed here.
I don't know. You might need to reconsider your profession. This is not going to look good for you, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. If you guys want to join Friendly Friday and you're in the Discord, you can head over to the general VC, and I'll drag us over.
Thank you. Oh, this is the wrong one. Sorry, my bad.
No, I got it.
All right. I missed a bunch. Johnny said this is way better than a debate. Seeking for Hope said, can we please move on from this dude? My brain's getting smaller and smaller with every passing minute. My bad. My bad. El Dizzle said, everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to this dip. I award you no points and may God have mercy on your soul. Happy Friday the 13th. Why do these dummies always speak with the confidence of 10 scholars? Ace Ventura said, collar as high as a kite. That could have been me. And we all know you're making billions off these tips. That's right. Lisa, thank you for the super chat, as well as San F. Roman says, right on, RTP, truth hurts sometimes, mega. Frankie said, just saying Friday the 13th, keep laying the truth down. Trudy said, love when Jay gets fired up. Jen, you're the sweetest. Ace said, is it true Dems turned mice trans to turn cancer? Yes, that's how you fix cancer. Evelyn said, maybe Hegseth was in his powder room. I think I got that one. I didn't check these payment apps. I'm getting worse at this. Yeetus says, for everyone be safe tomorrow, no kings. Tim said, where in the Bible? Oh shit, where in the Bible does it say lie about everything? Angie said, receding hairline, but I'd still sit on your face. Thank you, Jesus, Angie. Thank you. Tim also said, good to see you today after yesterday's heavy shit. Thank you. That was a heavy day yesterday. I didn't like yesterday. I prefer today. All right. I'm ready. Who's
Illusion.
first? What's up, Illusion?
First of all, motherfucker, I heard you calling all sorts of names, and we need to keep some decorum in here.
Sorry.
All right?
Yeah, my bad.
It hurt my
You're
feelings.
not the boss of us.
Listen, somebody's got to boss somebody around.
That's right.
Here.
I'm sorry.
And holy shit, we got a fucking war going on right now in the streets where if you just spit at people, you get a slap. And I saw some spit fly out of your mouth while you were talking to that guy. maybe you need a slap.
I have a feeling you'd be okay with me spitting on you.
Bro, hey, we keep that secret around here.
My bad.
Okay. But shit, we were calling the Iran war like weeks out. That was so obvious that people have forgotten about it. It started so long ago with the bombers placed out there and shit.
Yeah.
Now there's destroyers coming up and Abe Lincoln is out there. That shit was coming from a mile away. What do you think's going to happen with that?
You say Abe Lincoln?
Well, it wasn't Trump. Yeah, the Abe Lincoln, the ship. I was in the Navy, so we just call him like chill.
Okay,
names.
I didn't know that was the name of the ship. I thought maybe I was missing some reference to Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, old top hat Abe is standing out there just watching like, whoa. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what I would say to that.
I don't either.
Anyway, so what do you think that shit's going to escalate to out there? You haven't been covering it because there's been a lot of bullshit going on locally.
Well, honestly, I just don't know that much about Iran and Israel. Like, I'm probably going to spend a lot of time this weekend. I watched some stuff this morning. It was on my list to cover, but I just didn't feel like I was probably the right person to talk about it. I didn't have enough knowledge on it. So,
well, God damn it.
Yeah.
Step up to the plate, motherfucker. Okay. Well, listen, I follow that shit real close, but like you're smarter than I am. I think you're just more comprehensive in the way that you break that shit down and disseminate the information. So while you're inseminate some microphones with some spit, get a slap, and let's call this one a fucking day.
All right. Hey, send me anything you come across. DM it to me on Discord for Iran. I don't even know necessarily where to look. All right. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. Later.
See ya. All right.
Bye, Jen.
Who's
Bye.
next?
Fire.
What's up, Fire?
Hello. I just wanted to say thank you for the show. I've always been a good fan of yours, so I really appreciate you doing your thing.
Thank you.
Thank you for defending my city. I don't know why Seattle always has to get brought up. It's really annoying. But just wanted to clarify, we are a purple state. Like, there is a lot of red, but it doesn't. The reason why a lot of the stuff that happens here is because people don't plan properly, and then they try to ask for. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. I just wanted to say thank you. I hope you have a good Father's Day. Everybody stay safe tomorrow. Bring everything that you need to defend yourself, and if people are causing trouble, sit down.
And if
Anyway,
you're
thank
in
you.
Phoenix and other take water. It's going to be hot as shit if you're here in Phoenix, or if you're in Las Vegas or anywhere. Drink some water. Say something nice about yourself.
Perfect.
As long as you have your boots on the ground, you need to do all that.
That's right. Boots on the ground, folks.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I like the undercut there too. That
Thank
was
you.
funny. Anyway.
Thank you.
Bye, Fire. I caught that.
Mindless Pursuit, thank you for the donation over on PayPal. I appreciate it.
Devo.
Hey, Devo.
Hi, happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you.
Well, I just got off a really bad call with a client, so I'm ready for a drink.
Oh, good. Get after it.
But anyway, I didn't get a chance to listen to your debate Tuesday, so I was re-listening to it last night, and you had a guy on that was that was a diehard Trumper, and you were talking about universal health care and how the government doesn't, or how he wouldn't trust the government to run universal health care, which I wanted to talk about because I found it ironic that he doesn't trust the government to run universal health care, but apparently trusts the government in everything else that's complete chaos under Trump.
Yeah. It's also wild to say that you trust a private healthcare company more than the government. That's a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, as I've told you, I work in health, life, disability, all that stuff. I work for one of those big companies, and yeah, I'll be the first one to say, like, I would trust the government over us. But I don't know. I was just sitting there, and the first thought that hit me was just like the absolute hypocrisy of that.
Yeah.
That's nothing exciting to say. That was about it. I was like, wow, blind faith in the government, except when it benefits you.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Yeah,
so.
they'll sit here and watch these hearings where they're like, we're not going to tell you anything. And they're like, I trust them. I trust them, even though they're lying. But I won't trust them to run healthcare. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, well, yeah, have a good Father's Day. There is a protest, or like the No Kings March here in Buffalo. I unfortunately already had something, I can't go, but I know a lot of people that are going. So hopefully other cities are doing it.
Shout out Buffalo. Get yourself some Tim Hortons when you're done with the protest.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a good weekend. Have a good Father's Day. Everyone have a good weekend.
You too. We'll see it.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, who's next?
We've got Ash.
What's up, Ash?
Hey, can you skip me really quick? Sorry, my daughter just walked in the door. Hold on.
Yeah, Chris.
What's
up, dude?
Hey, do you need me or are you talking to?
Half and half. Can we split it?
Okay, that's fine.
You first.
Split custody.
I want you. Yeah, you could spit on me, Daddy. Just trying to navigate all these fucking golf dummies in my town here.
Where are you? Oh, are you in? Where I guess where is that? It's in Wisconsin, right?
No, it's in Oakmont, PA, Pittsburgh.
PA. That's right. I didn't know where Oakmont was. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It is. Ain't that supposed to be like one of the nicest like courses in the country?
One of the hardest for sure. Yeah, it's incredibly difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I see all these ads coming up on Facebook, like people are selling parking spots at their house for like $500 and shit.
No shit. Dude, I lived
Yeah,
in
it's crazy.
I lived in South Carolina. I lived in Columbia, but just like north of Columbia, is Darlington. It's this tiny little town, but they randomly have a NASCAR track there. They don't even have like they don't even have hotels in Darlington. And I was there and people sell out they'll like paint their lawns, and they were selling like space on their lawns. So all of Darlington is just like people in like tents and trailers. I'd never seen anything like that. It was crazy.
That's how Oakmont is. There's not like much around it. It's a suburb of Pittsburgh, there's not like big hotels or nothing like that there. So I did hear a crazy story though. The last time it was there or something, Tiger Woods like rented somebody's house, remodeled the entire thing, and left them like keep all the shit that they remodeled it with.
I haven't heard that. That's crazy.
Like redid, like put an addition on the house and like furnished it and like did all this crazy shit that he wanted, and then they got to keep everything.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That'd be fucking sweet.
My house, yeah. All right, you need Jen now? You're running out of time.
No, just two things real quick. The Israel thing, I don't know much about it either, but what I am seeing is just a bunch of the same bullshit that these like MAGA are just defending Israel. So no matter what, like Israel is going to be the good guy, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane. And then just the thing I really did want to like come up and talk about, kind of like a PSA. It's something that I've been like dealing with the last couple of days. A guy I know, and he's like my friend's dad, is like diehard MAGA, always has been, right? Just a goofball, but he's a boomer, and he posts shit on Facebook all day. And like, I want to say, like, I've been seeing him getting more radicalized recently, and now all he keeps posting about is like that they need to just start killing protesters, no matter what they're doing. Yeah. And like, people that are listening, like if you're MAGA, anyone, just like, and if you have kids and you have boomer parents or grandparents, like, just be careful, because they could be fucking saying anything they want to these kids.
Yeah.
And I keep telling my friend Evan that he has 2 kids. That's his dad. I'm like, just be careful with your kids around your dad, because I watch him and he just posts 50, 60 posts a day on Facebook, and they just keep getting more and more radical. So just like make sure your grandparents are taking their medicine and shit, and like turn their cable off or something so they could quit watching Fox.
Yeah, we're at that stage. I think we talked about it before, but like as people fall off in when you have like a cult, which this absolutely is a cult. Like every time something gets bad, like it tightens them, it solidifies them, and so we're at the point right now where, and we see it in the debates, like most of MAGA is just they're fuming and they don't know why. They don't have answers for anything that's going on. They can't defend it, and so it's just anger, and this will continue. Like there's going to be some violence, and they're going to tighten up, and they're going to radicalize. This isn't going to get better anytime soon. I don't think this is going to be a great weekend for America. I'm proud of everybody who's going out to protest, and I hope you take care of yourself. But I don't think this is going to be a great weekend.
Yep. Yeah. Just watch your grandparents. Like just get on these
maybe lean
boomers.
on their breathing tube. Who knows?
Jesus. Jesus.
All right. Bye, Chris.
Just like a warning
Later.
shot, right? You just meant like a little warning shot. Like, you know what I can do.
Just for a second, just remind him, and then
Yeah.
Yep.
Let them know who's boss. All right.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
Who's next?
Ash.
What's up, Ash?
Hi.
Hey.
I wanted to just say hi and that I kicked the guest actually.
Oh,
so
you
we could
did?
I was like, I'm tired of this. And that's really all I wanted to say.
I wasn't
But
sure if that's what you meant, but awesome.
yeah, I was like, yeah, we're not doing this. But also, I just wanted to say, if anybody wanted to borrow a grandparent for their children, my dad currently won't raise his flag during this presidency, and he posts stuff on Facebook like, "Is he dead yet?" So if anybody needs a radical grandparent in the other way that has definitely made a list, I'm sure somewhere, I'm happy to lend him out. So,
Are you
but I hope you have a
do you have
good.
to reserve that? Is it free? How do people get your dad?
I'll let him decide, but I'm gonna say that he'd probably do it for free. So yeah,
Rent a peepaw.
I'm just
There we
gonna
go.
say that.
That's
You know,
beautiful.
hope you have a good Father's Day,
Thank you.
and I got to listen to more of your show today, so I've been busy. But have a good one.
Thanks, Ash. We'll see it.
Bye.
All right, who's next?
All right. Swish.
What's up, Swish?
Hello, Double Daddy.
Hello.
Jen. Happy Friendly Friday, everyone.
Thank you.
Jen with the W for that oh so low key lean on the breathing tube, the elbow on the breathing tube as you lean in. Yeah, I like
You
it.
just have to remember. So
I'm there for it. Like catch your breath, Peepaw. I like it. So
Catch
hey,
your breath.
it's been
Jesus.
it's been a long week. I was absolutely crushed yesterday, and the look on your face and the reactions in the comments, man. I appreciate you every day. This whole family, Jen, everything you do. I love you so much. I'm not feeling all that great today. I've got a little crick in my neck. I think I need to get a new pillow. I've been looking at corduroy pillows. Have you heard of the new corduroy pillows that are out?
I haven't.
Oh, weird, because they're making headlines. So I figured maybe you'd have heard about them. So
that makes sense.
That's so good.
Right?
That's so good. That's my
It's
favorite
all
one
the
in a long
delivery.
time. That's so good. I love that.
It's thanks. It's all in the delivery. So last bit, I'll say that Mr. Swish, as you may or may not know, is an RN, and he just started working back in the emergency room. This week, it's weird. He was seeing a lot of peekaboo injuries, but he just turfs them over to the ICU. So the peekaboo injury, and
You gotta go.
he turfs them over.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
I love y'all so.
See ya.
As usual. Have a good one. Bye.
Who's next?
Cyber.
Hey.
DB8. Oh, that's probably how it is. DB8. You're muted. DB8.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and
Can you
clear.
hear me now?
Yeah. Hey, yes. Yeah, I was muted, duh. You'd think I would have this figured out since I work remotely most of the time. But anyway, Jay, thanks, man. I think the last guest basically hit the nail on the head, really I don't know, man. I feel like shit's a little bit crazy out there right now, and sometimes I wonder if I'm nuts thinking the things I think. But then I listen to you, and it's like I'm clearly not the only one that feels this way. So it's great to find a group of people that I can interact with and kind of feel like I'm not nuts. So thank you.
Or
And
we're all nuts. That could be it too. It could just be all of us.
well, maybe it could be a joint thing. That's true. But yeah, man, I think your reaction yesterday, I was watching that, and it hit me kind of the same way. It was very visceral and very emotional.
Yeah.
And it's compassion and it's love for this country, and watching it be torn apart by lunacy is it's frustrating.
Yeah.
And I just I don't know. I think the only way for you to get through this is together. So thanks for this.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It's a weird time. Like we never really been through this as a country before. It's I think the hardest part is that I know people that would like our worst fears, the things that we fear the most, like that maybe Trump is as bad as we thought. I think the scary part is that I know people in my life that would go along with it. And I think that's the part that hits me most, is that we're at a place where if they decide to go in that direction, a lot of people will go along with it. And I think that's the part that sucks.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And I think you had alluded to the fact that you don't necessarily have a great relationship with your family. Well, I'm in the exact same boat. Like my dad and I, we no matter what I bring up and no matter how often or hard I push it, he just will never learn.
Yeah.
He's very in the cold.
Yeah, it sucks.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And Jen, thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Have a happy Father's Day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, Cam.
What's up, Cam?
At here is roast chicken.
How come his shit never works? Did he get muted again? You guys fucking with him again?
All right, do you have him muted?
Oh, there's a.
Is it?
Oh,
do you
yeah.
have him? Click.
There we go. How does that happen?
You did it. I don't know.
I didn't do it, but it was muted. Yeah. Hey,
You
what's
had
up?
to have done it. It's an individual setting.
I didn't touch
Maybe
it.
it's because I made fun of you for muting yourself so many times. It's just
Right. All right, Cam.
It's just
Every
auto
start
mute.
time.
All right, go ahead, Cam.
I was saying, did you see my video the other night in the Discord?
I don't remember. What was it?
Oh, I was so I've been at some of the protests around here. We were out the other night, and because I'm in Downey. I don't know if you heard about Downey yesterday or day before.
No.
So Downey was hit pretty hard 2 days ago, and
Hit with
literally
hit
just,
with what?
ICE.
Oh, I okay.
ICE, yeah.
Downey is a city in SoCal.
I figured. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's a city. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, ICE was ICE was here pretty heavy the other day. Literally, the gas station around the corner from me, like I can almost throw a rock to it. There's videos of them picking up some dude there, and then the car wash that I go to sometimes was the one that was all over the news a little bit.
Wait, so you're telling me that all
There's
those
video-
times you went to the car wash, nobody murdered you? Nobody stole from you?
Yeah, they weren't.
They weren't committing crimes at the car wash?
No,
Oh,
it's
that's
a weird
crazy.
thing, isn't it? Exactly.
Jesus.
But what was funny is they were out there that night or night before last because word got out that ICE was at the Embassy Suites here in Downey, and so we were there the other night. It was like midnight. I was there from like midnight to 1.
Wait,
Everybody's out on the sidewalk.
I think I saw those. That's when they were recording, and they like the ICE officials were like flipping people off and stuff. Is that? I think I saw that
Oh
video.
no, that's a different one.
Oh, okay.
They were just up in the rooms, and we're down there just making as much noise as possible, peacefully, obviously. But they had speakers out there on the sidewalk. There was like a dude with the trombone out the sidewalk. Everybody was honking. Like we had all the signs that say honk, just honk. Had people honking. Some people were rolling. Everybody was rolling by in their loudest cars. People with just open exhausts, just coming by, just revving up. Like it was just obnoxious, and it was great.
That's
We were
pretty
just
funny.
Making sure they didn't get as much sleep as
Yeah, don't let them
try to
sleep.
keep them up.
Yeah.
But
love that.
yeah, no, I was only asking if you saw it because I gave it posted a video for the Discord, and I was like, I ended it with because I was wearing my Rams hat, so I was
Ew.
just saying "fuck Niners," "fuck text,"
Ew.
"fuck or text," and I was like, "Have a great winter."
Bitch.
But on top of that, so I
Wrap
won't
it
be
up,
out
Cam.
tomorrow.
We're out of time.
Oh, okay, I hope everybody stays safe tomorrow. Unfortunately, I share a birthday with a certain person, so I'm gonna be busy tomorrow.
There you go.
So yeah, but not thoughts and prayers, but appreciate everybody going out there and stay safe.
Thanks, Cam.
God damn. I said hurry. Bye, Cam.
Who's next?
Yukon.
What's up, Yukon? Terry's having a real meltdown in the YouTube chat. I'm enjoying this. You're doing great.
Okay,
Terry.
Yukon's not here anymore. Arizona dude.
Hey, is this Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mike.
What's up,
Long
Mike?
time no talk.
Where you
Long
been,
time no
man?
talk. I know. I've been busy. I've been actually got in an accident. Had to stay, kind of lay low for a bit, and I dislocated both my shoulders. So I was yeah, it was pretty bad. But back in April, but I haven't been on too much. But I'm back now. I'm back. I'm still listening to you though. I've been listening in the background, so it's been good. So
it's good to hear from you.
Yeah, and I'm actually thinking of going to Flagstaff Pride next week, so that'll be kind of nice because they're having their Pride next Saturday. So
And Flagstaff's great this time of
Yeah.
year. This is peak.
Flagstaff's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, no, I just wanted to say, hey, that I'm still alive. I'm still here, but but recovering good and all that good stuff. But yeah, no, I'm still listening, and I've actually because I've listened to you on YouTube and also on TikTok, but mainly TikTok. So, but I'm between both. So I'm they're under the same handle all the time. So
Yeah, we made it through this whole episode without getting banned on TikTok. They're up in their game. Thanks,
Yeah.
TikTok. Yeah.
No matter how much you tried, you didn't get banned. I mean, you were doing your best.
I always do.
Well, the one thing I want to say after you were talking to that one guy for that length of time and all that, I'll be your bitch anytime.
Oh, thanks, Mike. Thank you.
Happy Father's Day.
Thanks,
All right, take care.
Bye.
All right, Johnny.
What's up, Johnny?
You're muted, Johnny.
Oh, I am. I'm inside. Give me a second to go outside. I gotta go outside. Hey, any good plans this weekend?
You broke up a little bit there. What'd you say?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what happened. I might have switched from the good Wi-Fi to the crappy Wi-Fi as I went outside. Yeah, I was just wondering what you guys are doing this weekend.
No.
Anything fun?
Absolutely.
Gonna go to Home
Absolutely
Depot?
not. Absolutely not. We're not doing this shit. No.
Well, my wife and I were going to go to Lowe's, and then after we're going to go Bed Bath and Beyond.
It's gonna be a nice
It should be
weekend.
a pretty fun weekend.
Yeah.
I got the whole one time. But no, my in-laws live in Arizona, and they've been having a lot of snakes this year. Have you guys been having snake issues this year?
You know what? The other night, I was on a walk. I haven't seen a lot, but I almost stepped on a rattlesnake the other night. I don't know if it saw me because it wasn't even curled. It was going the opposite direction. Yeah, that's the first one I've seen. But maybe I don't know.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
We had a kid get bit here in the Sierras last weekend.
Damn.
Yeah, him and his I guess they're I don't remember where they're from, but they came out to visit their grandparents, and they were up visiting for the weekend. And Grandpa's like, "Yeah, go have fun, kids." They live in like 100 acres or whatever, right up in the mountains. Kids going out and running, just having a good old time. Kid's got to take a dump.
Oh.
Did you not? Kid sits up, yeah, it bites him right on the asshole, right in the fucking ass. The brother's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Come on, man." He's like, "Okay, Grandpa." Kid runs home, probably like half a mile. Runs home, runs. He's sweating his ass. Gets back. He's like, "Grandpa, what?" He's like, "I feel like I got bit by a rattlesnake." He's like, "What?" He goes, "Well, come, Grandpa." His grandpa's like, "I'm too old. I can't get out there. That's up the mountain. Let me tell you what to do." So he tells him, he's like, "What you're gonna do is you take your knife. Take this knife with you. You can put an X on each one of the fang marks, and you're gonna suck the venom out so that he doesn't get sick and die." Well, Grandpa, no, there's no time. Grandpa, no, there's no time. You got to go right now. Run. Take this knife and run. He runs back
his brother's like kind of dozing in and out a little bit, kind of getting a little shaky, and he's like, "Quick, Grandpa, say what Grandpa say. Grandpa said you're gonna die." Get it?
No, I missed it. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. We missed it. But we're out of time. So
Next time.
God, really?
I missed it. You broke up a couple times in there. We'll have to get the better connection next time.
Man, you always hate my stories. All right, bye.
I didn't hear it. I'm
Goodbye,
sorry. I want to love it. I really want to love it. It broke up like 3 or 4 times during the joke, so I didn't hear it all clearly.
Oh, well, a kid got bit on the asshole. Grandpa told him to put an X on it, and he ran back and told him he was going to die. That was the joke.
I still don't get it.
Got it.
All right.
I'll try next week.
Okay. Bye.
All right,
Bye, Johnny.
I don't get
All
it.
right, make fun of me when I'm gone.
I don't get it. A lot of people in the chat say they get it. I don't get it.
Just nod your head.
Is it because like is it because like when you get bit you put the X and like that's where you suck the venom out? Is that what it is? I think that might be what it is. I think maybe that's like how you get the venom out. They're saying I got it. Okay, sorry. I'm just dumb. That one wasn't your fault. Who's next?
Mama.
Hey.
Hey.
Marlene.
Hey, Marlene.
Yes, it's me. I missed you last week.
I missed you too.
But I just wanted to say I had a very similar feeling to you yesterday, and I don't blame you a bit for cutting it short. I think that was the wise thing to do for your own mental health. So
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
To lighten the mood a little, I know you have special names for your dogs, and there's a reason that you chose those names because they're cool, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to tell you the story of the names of my dogs.
Okay.
So, first of all, my late husband and our favorite movie was The Princess Bride. So you have to know The Princess Bride to understand the story. So
I do know The
hopefully
Princess
you've
Bride.
seen
Yeah.
it. Okay, so my first dog, my oldest dog, is Buttercup. And her registration name, because I got them from my niece who's a breeder, so they are purebred. Sorry to the rescue dogs.
Yeah.
Anyway, her registration name is Her Royal Highness the Princess Truelove Buttercup.
Oh, okay.
And the other one, his name is Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
That's the full name.
And I call him Monty.
I love
and he's
that.
called Monty.
I love that.
So I have Buttercup and Monty. So I thought you would appreciate
That's
that.
beautiful. I'm going to watch Princess Bride this weekend now. My daughter loves that movie.
I do. I watch it every few months just because it's a cool movie.
Yeah. If you haven't watched it, everybody, you can watch it this weekend with me and Marlene. We're all watching Princess Bride.
Yes. And since I have 20 seconds left, every single one of our vaccines were tested significantly and exhaustively on children.
Amen. Amen.
So,
Amen.
So RFK can just shut the fuck up. And on that note, I will leave.
Thank you, Marlene. I wasn't ready for it. You should shut the fuck up, though. I wasn't ready for it. All right, who's next?
Other mama.
Hey.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Okay, so I'm back in the States. So
welcome back.
First of all, thank you. It's hot as fuck. So
sorry about that.
There's that. It's Phoenix. That's the way it is. Okay, so first of all, shout out to your research team and mods, and also especially Jen for hurting the cats that are your lives and the Admir debate lives.
Yeah. It's not
What
easy.
would we do
It's
without her?
mostly Che. And that's the hurting, that's the complicated part. But
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. And I have a list of things that I've learned from international travel.
Okay.
So I wanted to go over that with you guys.
I'm
Okay, so
ready.
first, never again will I take a Canadian-based flight because they don't use AC or believe in circulating air in a plane.
Airplane farts? Ew.
It was miserable.
Oh, that's devastating.
Okay. Next, Timbits, way better than the hype. The raspberry cheesecake ones,
Oh.
I could eat those, just those, for the rest of my life and be happy.
Timbits are unbelievable. If you guys haven't had Timbits, unbelievable. Never do.
It was my first experience.
You can't have any other donut holes ever again. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Krispy Kreme doesn't hold a candle.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Spanish and French residents will walk up 20 flights of stairs and 20,000 steps like it was nothing. And those are some fucking fitness goals for me. French food is mediocre at best, unless if it's a bread, a pastry, or their coffee, which is fucking top tier. And then also fresh air, almost no pollution, sleeping with the windows open, no bugs, and only having access to world news seriously helped me to recenter and keep fighting through this crazy, stressful time in the United States.
That's awesome. Yeah.
There's my list.
That's beautiful. And listen, I don't know if you know how much I appreciate what you said about French food. I hate every time that like someone sets a plan and you go to a French restaurant. I'm like, great, I'm gonna have really expensive average food. I can't wait.
Yeah. It's it has no seasoning, and my husband always says, fuck the French except for their kisses. So there's that.
I like that. I like that.
And their bread.
Yeah, French bread's good.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Great travel tips.
All right.
Sorry about the farts. That's tough.
Back in Canada. All right. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye.
Angela.
Hey.
Wait. Angelia? I'm sorry. I'm just the words. You're mute. You muted. I don't know if you know that you did that.
God. Okay. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, it's Angelia, but my name is Kirsten B. I donated to you like a couple times because I believed. Yes, hi. I believed in everything that you are saying, especially with the parents, because my mom, she watches Newsmax all the time. When I go to her, it's nothing but Newsmax, and I always go and try to talk to her. I'm like, Mom, no, what they're saying is a lie. And she goes, I don't want to talk to you about politics. Because I tried to see what?
Does she have a breathing tube?
No, she doesn't. She's breathing perfectly fine. She only has asthma, and that's it. She only has asthma. But so I tried to talk to her as much as I can without her trying to shut me down by dancing around words to help her understand how politics works. And it just turns into a screaming match. So I understand where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
And also on top of that, I've been watching you for a couple months, and if you know anime like One Piece, I see you as like this pirate crew, just trying to make sure tyranny doesn't happen to our country, and make sure the celestial dragons, like basically they're the 1%ers trying to, for everyone else trying to stop that. And I'm quite grateful for everything that you have done and everything you're going to do. And this is my first time here, but I'm probably going to come back next week. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Anyone that's protesting, I hope you guys do a good job. I have to work. Otherwise, I will be right there with you guys. And I hope you have a wonderful Father's Day. And I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. So take care.
Thank you. That was so sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jay, do you know about celestial? Do they get special underwear? Do you know about? Do they have?
Come on. I don't know about what it's One Piece, right? That's the name of the anime.
Yeah, it's One Piece.
I'll have to watch it. I hear about it all the time, and everybody says it's amazing.
I don't know if you know.
It is.
I don't know if you know. RTP is a recovering Mormon, and he's really into special underwear. So that's what I was asking.
That's correct. All things celestial. That's right.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.
All right. Love you. Stop asking.
Hey.
You guys suck.
There we go. The connection was good.
He was not complimentary to Jen right today.
He wasn't.
He loves Zen.
Oh, adorable. That laugh.
That's awesome.
He's in a goofy mood. All right.
I love that.
There you go.
Anyway, did you get my list of the nicknames for Trump?
I don't remember. Where'd you send it?
I sent it on DM on Discord. Yep.
When did you send it?
Not last week, but the week before.
Oh, shit.
Or possibly 2 months ago. I don't know.
All right. Well, if it was more than a day ago, I forgot. Here it is. Oh, I got it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Also, by the way, if you don't like the government, then One Piece is a really cool show to watch as well.
Okay. Okay, I'll watch it. I promise. What's it on? How do I watch One Piece?
Netflix or Hulu.
Netflix or Hulu. Okay, I'll watch it this weekend. These are some good names. Tangerine Palpatine, Adolf Hitler, Donut Rump, Angry Creamsicle. I like that. Benedict Donald, Blitzkrieg Bozo. There's a good, unbelievable list.
Yeah, I have like so many, and I've actually got more now since I haven't sent the new ones. But yeah, I get them from all over, and every time I get one, I add it to the list, and I'm like, yeah, that's all of those are better names.
I like Jabba the Gut. I like Gravy Seals. Save a lot Stalin. Melon Felon. Velveeta Voldemort. That's incredible. That's so good. Okay.
Hey, Elliot, tell them your favorite one.
Cam.
I can put on the cam. Yes. Okay, there we go. I don't know if it's showing you. Hang on, there's me. Let me see if I can turn it. Here. There you go.
Felon and the Screaming Carrot Demon.
Yep.
Oh, it's does that say F Elon? It's not Felon. It's F Elon.
Oh,
okay.
Elon. Got it.
That's beautiful.
Yep, we made it for the first April 5th whatever protest.
I love that. Well done.
Yep.
All right. Well, I forgot to hit the start on the timer, so we're gonna have your last word.
Love you guys. I mean, you suck, but we love you anyway.
Yeah.
Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Love you, Jen.
Love you, Jen. Beautiful.
Bye. Brett.
What's up, Brett?
Hi.
Hey.
I just wanted to wish you a happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you for letting me channel all of my rage and feeling of out of controlness into helping with the outlines every week.
You're so good at it. This is the Brit I tell you guys about that helps me with the outlines. Like 80% of what we cover is what she finds.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
It's I feel like it's not good for my mental health, but also good for my mental health at the same time.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like it's gives me something to do, but also feels like I'm doing something helpful and important. So
well, it helps
I appreciate that.
I'm glad you find it important.
Yeah.
It helps me a great deal.
Yeah. I also wanted to say that that previous sign that I saw was awesome. It warms my heart to see people with their kids going and doing this stuff, and like the kids have such a great barometer for what's going on.
Yeah.
And so it just gives me hope that like, okay, we have like younger generations that understand to the degree that they can what's happening, and also have just a pure sense of justice, which I love.
Yeah, I love that.
So thank you to the parents that are teaching their children that. And then one more thing I was going to say, if you're currently having an existential crisis like I am about all this stuff, I highly recommend either going and cutting your hair, getting bangs, dyeing your hair, get the tattoo, get the piercing, do whatever you got to do.
Face tattoo.
Face tattoo. Who even gives a shit anymore? There's no more rules. No one cares. Highly recommend it. I chopped off like a good, I don't even know, like maybe 6-8 inches of my hair today, and it doesn't change anything, but I do feel better. So I recommend that.
That's good advice.
And yeah, I hope you get to hit a ton of golf balls this weekend.
Thank you.
And that's it. Love you and hate you guys at the same time.
Love you too.
And have a safe protest weekend.
Love you too. Tell Cam we love him too.
I will.
All right.
I will tell him.
Okay.
And he loved seeing his hat, by the way.
I love that hat. I got so many compliments on that hat.
Yay, that's great. I'll let him know.
Okay.
All right, guys.
See you, Brett.
Take care. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye. Colby.
What's up, Colby? Golby.
Hey,
How's it going?
Good.
Man, I just found you this week, and I just want to say thank you, man. I really like what you got to say, and I think it's important, and it's not easy to do what you're doing. So you and your team, tip my hat to you.
Thank you.
Great work.
Thank you. What was it? I don't know what to do with compliments. I'm bad at it. Compliment Jen or something. Oh, did we lose him? Oh, thanks, Goldie. He's gone. All right.
Oh, I don't know.
That was quick.
And you might have gotten a phone call or something. If he comes back. JT.
What's up, JT?
Hey Jay, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. All right. I actually feel really shitty. I think I have COVID again. So.
Oh shit.
So, I know for the third time. You know, I go to music festivals with my fiance and stuff, and every single time I go to those damn things, I just get COVID right after, and it's awful. But anyways, so if I have like brain fog, excuse me. And super out of breath. I can't even walk. All right. Anyways, I know earlier in the outline that you were talking about who Israel killed in those airstrikes in Iran.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just children. It was, forgive me, I don't remember the names, but it was 3 very important, like either generals or some sort of really important people that they killed. It was 3 of them. And I would look into that. I don't have the names on me, but it was 3 apparently very important people. So
I'm seeing General Salami. Eliminate. Here's what we have. The chief. I guess it doesn't have the names. Chief of the General Staff, Chief or Commander of the Air Force, Commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, Commander of the Emergency Headquarters, Commander of the Iranian Ground Forces, Commander of the IRGC Navy, Commander of the Quds Force, Commander of Baji Forces, Commander of the Iranian Navy, Commander of the Army Ground Forces, Commander of the Army Air Force. Wow. I didn't know any. All I had seen when we started is just that the first person killed was a child, which was pretty on brand for Israel.
Typical Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah. How sad. Awful.
Yeah.
But I thought I would and I didn't know if you knew or not, so
No,
I
I
thought
didn't.
I'd bring that up.
That's the first time I'm reading it. I didn't know that at all. Thank you.
Yeah, I was watching Adam Cray's his YouTube this morning. He was breaking the news, so that's what I saw. So
Oh, cool. I'll have to go watch that.
all right, cool. And so back in high school, my nickname was a banana.
Was what?
A banana?
A banana? Okay.
Because I got a split. See ya.
It's stupid. So stupid. All right. Is that everybody, Jen?
No.
You broke up. Did you say yeah? That's everybody?
Yeah.
All right. Any last words from you?
I'm no.
All right. Well, Johnny says he gives up. I don't know what Johnny's given up for, but Johnny, don't give up. You got this. Whatever.
I think he's referring to his jokes. But...
He didn't even make a joke, did he?
Oh, Charles is here.
Oh, hey, Charles.
He tried to make a joke, but he was cutting out. Remember the?
That was Johnny. I didn't realize that was Johnny. Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Oh, okay, no, Charles is gone.
Bye, Charles.
Charles, you coming back? Yeah, go. Give him a couple seconds.
All right, I'll read it. Wasn't me sent a message said thank you for being unafraid of having and showing feelings. I don't have a choice. They just come out. Jen, any last words? Do you want to show some feelings?
No, I don't do those. We've been over that. So
all right.
I'm just double checking, but I'm gonna make sure. Okay, I think that's everything. So that's about it.
All right, guys. It was another great week over here. Thank you guys so much for the support, and thank you for the views, the likes. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube if you want to catch live events. If we go live, sometimes it's unannounced. So this weekend, if I happen to go live on TikTok, make sure you're subscribed on YouTube if you want to catch it there. Otherwise, you can watch on TikTok. Replay is always available on YouTube and not on Twitch. You can follow us basically anywhere on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. We got merch in our merch store. That link is in the bio. And we also offer cameos. If it's not too late to get in a Father's Day cameo, if you send those in today, I can get them done before Father's Day. Other than that, take care of yourself this weekend, if you're going out and protesting, just make sure that you're really loud and you're really safe and you're really hydrated. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Stay cute and cool and have a great, great, great summer.